Yo, what's up, party people? I'll give it a few minutes for everyone to get in chat here. This was definitely impromptu. I didn't have anything to do. I was bored. I didn't want to work on video. So I figured, hey, why not stream? Let's hang out. Let's do a car audio helpline. If you got any questions in the chat you think I might have some sort of answer for, pop it down below. Let me know your questions. And if you want to join the stream on your phone or whatever you have, your laptop, whatever you got, I'm going to put a link in chat so you can join and we'll have you on here. Of course, if you start getting a little crazy, might have to boot you. But, let's go. Let's see what's going on. Bobby B in the house already. Let me copy to clipboard. Oh, a helpline. Yes, Jeff. A helpline, my friend. So right here, I put in the StreamYard join link. If any of you want to join, hit that link. I can see you here. I can pull you up on the screen. You can join just with your phone, your tablet, your laptop, whatever you got handy. We could chat face-to-face if you want. If not, put the questions that you might have in the comments, and I'll see if I have an answer. I probably don't have an answer for everything. I probably don't have an answer for almost anything. But, or at least I don't have a good answer for everything. So I might have an answer, but it might not be good. Yo, yo, yo. What's up from Cincinnati? Bobby didn't do his hair. He can't join. It's a shame. It's a shame. I mean, he's got pristine hair. It's beautiful. If you've never seen it, you're missing out. All right. Looks like we're getting some folks in here now. While we wait, if anybody wants to join, if you're joining now and you weren't joined earlier, I have a StreamYard link in the chat. If you want to join live, you can do that. If not, pop your questions below or in the chat, and I'll try to answer if I can. If you want to join, hit that join link. We'll talk face to face. But in the meantime, check out my new. So I haven't wore this hoodie a lot because I just got it and I had to wash it. But this hoodie is freaking comfortable, and I'll kind of show you guys. I did a new design, so I wanna show it off here. I've ordered the shirts. I have not got them yet, but let's check them out. Let's see, Andrew, what's up, man? What's up from Kentucky? A box designer for an SQ box. Ah, man. Holler at DIY audio guy. He's doing some of that. Brian Townsend, what's up? CRT, before we start checking out the merch, go to Car Audio Fab, caraudiofabrication.com. Check him out. Also, check out DIY Audio Guy. He's doing some of that. And I'm trying to think who. Drew Jones could probably help you out. Baseaholic Productions. He does a lot of like big stuff, but I think maybe he can hook you up as well. So for those of you guys that did not or are just joining, if you have a question, drop it in chat. If you have a question and you want to talk face to face, click. Let me go solo here. Let me go solo. If you have a question and you want to join in face to face and talk about it, hit the StreamYard link. We're ready. This is a call-in car audio helpline. So if you guys want to join, I think it'll be fun. If not, put your questions here and I'll try to answer them. With that being said, let's check out this new merch. So we have basically, some of the stuff that's been up there. We have the HifiVega regular wire t-shirt. If you guys haven't seen this, I've got it available in a few different colors. So let's check them out. So we got a gray. Gray's my favorite. Blue, baby blue, red, and purple. If you want the purple, we got you covered here. This is let's go back here. I'm missing chat. come on. It's going to take a million years. All right, but let's go to the hoodie I got on. So let's see right here. I love this green, man. This green, you can maybe see on screen versus the green that I have on here. So this green, to me, looks better in person than it does on screen on here on the website. So I actually think that this looks better. This green is super dope. If you like green, it is super fly. But it's also available in blue, red, and white, which my wife has. I just posted pictures of that earlier. I think it looks really good. And then gray, you got to have gray. And the cool thing about this hoodie is it's available in every size you need. I'm a big guy. I need a 3X. I could probably do 2X, but it's going to be a little short. So 3X, if you need a 4X, 5X, they've got you covered. And that one's in here. One of my favorite hoodies that I've ordered from them so far. So I really like this. But I'll tell you, I've got some shirts and I've just ordered these. I've got them in 2 different styles. So let's check this out while we got it. Hold up. I got some super chats. Let me holler them out. David Kozlik, appreciate it, bro. Don't forget to hit the like and thumbs up. Yeah, man. You the man. SD Designs, what's up, my dude? Audi, what's up, man? Put a system in a 2019 Camry. No, I have not. I only got old stuff. CRT. Oh, appreciate the super chat, my man. Appreciate it. The hoodie is sweet for sure, man. I definitely dig this hoodie. Yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, if any of you guys want to join, hit this link, man. We'll join up. If not, I'm going to talk about these shirts a little bit longer, and then I'll go back, and if I miss any questions, we'll go to it. And Fro, don't hit me with that. I don't know that answer. Listen, Fro's playing games because he knows this answer, and I don't know this answer because I only drive old cars. So here we are with the shirts. Actually, let me go solo with this. All right, so I've got this coming in, I believe, this color. I have the baby blue coming for me. Crimping ain't easy. Why not? It's something I say all the time. I think it's pretty funny. It may be inappropriate for work, but it's a cool shirt nonetheless, I think. And it's available in so many colors. Got a pretty cool green, which I'm assuming is close to this green. We've got a dark blue. We've got a red, a gray, a dark gray. Then we've got a yellow, which I like the yellow. I think the yellow is pretty dope. We got like a baby, like a different type of blue, another darker blue, white, yellow. This is like a mustard right here. Then we got a purple and like a magenta. So let's go back to the main one. Yo, JDR, what's up, dude? Appreciate it. Dark gray looks dope. Yeah, Fro's just playing with me. You got me, man. You got me good. That's a Dean question. You should know I can't answer Dean questions. So on this one, I like this. It's the same logo. Crimping ain't easy, but it's different. It's on the right chest instead of, across the chest. I've got this one coming personally for myself. And I also got it in blue font. So it's a light blue font with the HifiVega logo in actually black still. So I've got this coming in yellow. I dig this. I like the blue on yellow with the black. I think it's a cool looking shirt. Maybe I'm kind of partial because I did design it, but still, I think it's a cool shirt. And it's a cool saying. You got purple as well, which is a cool color combo. This baby blue, the purple. You can go red if you want, and you can go white, which is another cool one because the blue on the white on the black. I think it's a pretty cool combo for sure. what else did I have here? I think, oh, and then I have this one, which, just to change it up. Some people might want one that runs up and down. So we've got that. And this one is available in pink, because some people might want pink. We got the blue, the red, the green, all that stuff. So with that being said, let's go over here. Oh, hold up. We got someone just called in. We got to answer his questions. He's in here. What's up, Fuego?
Hey, what's up, Rob?
What you doing, man? You still in garage quarantine?
Garage, yeah, I got a bug. I had to go back to the doctor on. Man, I made it through all of side jag. Next morning, boom, I was out, down.
You were done.
I
You saved all your energy up for it.
I had to take the day off work. I went in there, got second test, all that. So I'm in garage quarantine for sure. But hey, if you're going to be in garage quarantine, why not be in the audio garage? Hey.
Well, see, my whole thought was I was sitting here, I'm bored. I'm like, why not stream instead of work? I could be working on video right now and getting ahead, but why do that when I can stream and screw around?
I do got to say, I like your wardrobe. So I've got my HifiVega.
Oh, nice. In the blue. I like
blue.
That.
Yeah. So
so we got the same
one. I just got the blue one. You got the green one.
Yeah. I almost went blue, but I have another blue one. So I was like, you know what, green, let's go green. It's not like a color I use often. I'm a gray guy, so
I think the black logo on the green looks a lot better than the black logo on the blue. But what I love about this hoodie is the giant logo on the back.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I like the hold up, we got some people. Someone sent 27 photos. We're not gonna look at those right now. Yeah, man, I like the logo. I think it's cool to have the big logo. The car audio for enthusiasts, kind of my little tagline. Yeah, I think it's cool.
Car audio for enthusiasts by enthusiasts, right?
Yeah, like the Dean. Did you watch his IRTA?
Yeah.
So he's doing the FUBU, the for us by us. Like, that's a pro move, man.
Yeah, I done just clean out the garage, getting ready to move. I found and I'm not kidding you, a giant change jar, and I'm taking that thing into Coinstar, pumping that stuff in there. I'm going to get myself the IRTA too. Yeah,
there you go. Heck yeah, man.
Got to be at least $250 in this thing.
Dude. Hey, sometimes you'd be surprised. I've done that before, and I'm like, whoa. I think we were going on vacation, and this is before I had kids of my own. I told my nieces, you can have all the change out of my truck. I would just always throw my change in there.
Yeah.
And you can spend it on vacation. And I went and cashed it, and it was like $140. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I should have kept that.
Yeah. Definitely. So.
Yeah, you have a HifiVega shirt on. You know what I have? I keep this on me in my pocket all the time here.
Oh yeah.
Let's see if we can get it to focus.
Yeah, that's the
Benchmade.
The Benchmade Clear Creek Systems model there. So I've got a couple to send out. We had a huge snowstorm here. I was iced in, and then I've got this bug I'm dealing with. So I've got a few to send out to a couple people. So
yeah, man, appreciate it. That's my everyday. I've been beating the hell out of this thing. Weber fan, it's a Benchmade knife. It's like a legit, real nice knife.
American made.
Right.
Yeah.
Right in Oregon, right?
Oregon. Yep.
Oh, hey, hold up. We got another chatter here. Mr. Mullen, what's up?
There he is, the man with the new audio channel. I love it, man.
Yeah, what's going on?
I was sitting in there. The wife was in the bedroom with the son watching TV, and I'm just sitting in the chair. I'm like, screwed. I'm going to get dressed and go to the garage.
Right. Hey, there you go. If you don't have HifiVega somewhere on your person, I'm going to have to kick you. I'm so sorry.
I got P2 on me. I mean, the best I can do for now. I was actually looking at that purple shirt earlier.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're a purple guy.
I'm a purple guy.
I was thinking of that when I added it. I was like, you know who's gonna like this? Sean. Sean's gonna like the purple.
Just for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So hey, you guys want to stick around and help answer questions, or do you have questions of your own?
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
That's what I do.
I'd be happy to help answer questions.
All right, let's start with it then.
I won't be right, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't going to be right if I said it either. So, so Jeff has an audio question. He was thinking about the JL 12 W7 anniversary. I've never heard one in person. I have had several W6. Are they as good as people say? What amp would you recommend? Do you guys have any experience with W7s?
I have never had a single JL audio product.
What? Oh my gosh,
dude! When I was doing my car audio stuff, the only thing in this area was Fosgate. I mean, we were rocking something. There was no JL audio around here.
That's crazy, because it was like. So was it like half of your city was Rockford, half was Orion?
No, so I live in a very small town. We don't even have a stoplight. And there's a little bitty town just west of here that had a little bitty building that didn't even have a sign on the side of it. And you would go in there and it was just nothing but Fosgate, Kenwood, and he had some Pioneer stuff. Every once in a while you'd see like a little JL audio product in there, but it was like, at the time I was kind of a broke kid, and to see something that was priced twice as much as say like a Fosgate 10, why would I spend twice as much on this 10 as I would this one? So I never mess with anything, Jay. I know it's good stuff. I've never messed with it.
Oh man. So you have a whole section of your life that's just missing.
It's gone.
It's gone. Fuego, do you have an answer for them?
I've had the W0s, the W1s. I've had JL for forever on the sub side. In my existing 2016 4Runner, I call it my SQ vehicle. Right. I've got 2 JL Audio 10 TW3s, and I'm putting about 550-ish watts each to those. I need a slim mount. They sound excellent. Now, the W7, I have never owned one personally. I have a buddy that had one, and this was the 13 W7. Is that the question? Yeah. I would say, put 1,500 watts on that thing, and it's gonna sound great.
Right. And see, Fro has got you right here. You would run a W7 off a HD 1200.1, gain it back. And listen, and he's right. Weber fan is right here. W7 is a pretty penny. So, in my opinion, if you have the money for a W7 and money's not a concern in this situation, and you're willing to pony up for it, the W7 is 100% worth the money. If you know what it is. If you just want the loudest sub you get for the money, don't get the W7. That's not what this is. This is a sub that can get loud. This is a sub that can play accurately. It's a legendary sub. It's literally been made since like 2012 or no, 2005, I think it was. So,
it's been a while.
Yeah, and it's been over 15 years. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
It's a lifetime sub. You buy it and you have it for your lifetime.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't get rid of sub-7s.
It's a little long in the tooth, but it still sounds good. And I would say of anybody that's a pro on JL, I would say it's Fro. For those that don't know, Fro is the master at Stereo King in Oregon. And Stereo King's an awesome audio shop. They sell JL. He's got the pro tips on JL.
Yeah, for sure. And he's right there by where's it at? I just posted it. Yeah, right by Benchmade. 2 miles from my house. So
exactly.
All right, let's see what else questions we have. Kip says banana split blizzard with pecans is my kryptonite. Dude, banana splits are good. With pecans and maybe a little caramel. Oh, dude.
None of that sounds good.
Oh, what sounds good then?
I'm a chocolate vanilla kind of guy.
Oh, hey, I mean, you can't go wrong with chocolate and vanilla.
I mean, my wife hates it because I'll just eat straight vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
I'm about as boring as it gets when it comes to that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. Listen, like a high quality vanilla, boom. Oh no, we
It's
got
vanilla.
somebody. We have someone else in chat.
Oh my god.
Yo,
Yeah.
Mr. Clip.
You know, the only reason I joined is because I had to show I'm wearing my HifiVega shirt tonight here at the house. So there you
heck
go.
yeah, man.
I'm the odd man out
Bro.
now.
You feeling any better?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting better every day, man. It's kind of funny. I did that 4-hour marathon with Andy,
Dude,
and
Andy
then I
tried to
lost
kill
my
you.
voice. He
Andy
did try to kill me.
you, bro.
He did. So I got a little frog in my throat tonight. You can tell I'm not the same as it was then, but it's getting better every day. Can't complain.
This may now HifiVega. This may be my only time to show Kip. My kicker,
Yeah. Let me go you solo. He might not have seen this before. Let's
My-
solo you.
my kicker unmasked.
There's your unmasked award.
Three-time grand champion. So as far as I know, the only one that's won 3 grand prizes on kicker unmasked. And I've always wanted a car audio trophy, and so I went on Amazon. I bought myself a trophy. My wife put the stickers on it, and I had them engrave it. And here I got my trophy. I'm a winner.
We are.
That's awesome. Well, you know the show's rigged every Tuesday night, so you're a three-peat for a reason.
How much did that cost you, Fuego? Like, Kip, what did you get some home audio out of it, or what's the rub? How did it work out?
For me or for El Fuego?
I don't know. I'm just the middleman here. I'm trying to figure out like what happened here.
The trophy cost me.
And I was on a stream when you won a grand prize, right?
Yeah, you were.
I was in person.
Yeah. The first time I won, it was the KM8. Then I had
Sean's got the kickers sitting right there.
The Tabor 2s I won.
Yeah, you could see the KM8s flashing in my background there, Kip.
Yeah, you've said a lot of really nice things about those drivers, and I got to agree with you. Those Marine 8-inch coaxes are a fantastic sounding coax.
Yeah. So that was the first. The second was the wiring kit. The third was the
15
the Comp Q15 that's sitting there. It's waiting its install. The box is being built right now. So
those Comp Qs are dope, man.
I can't wait. And then MBE had that whole video on the Comp Q15. I was like, this guy miracles. I'm like, can't wait.
The guy asked, there was a question in the feed, and the guy brought up the W7. I think the W7 is a fantastic driver. Throw the right amount of power on it, build your right box. It is a great sound quality driver. Can't knock that one at all. But I'll also give a plug out here that if you're just chasing SQ and you're not after the ultimate number, I'll be straight up honest. That Comp Q10 that we manufacture, the 10, you take that puppy, put some clean power on it, run it, and I don't know that there's any other driver out there that's significantly better for SQ. That Comp Q10 is an amazing sounding driver.
Yes, Jeff, what can we do to get you in a Comp Q, my friend? We could save you some of that W7 money.
Oh,
I think
for the money you save, I need to put more power on it.
More power.
I think you got to look at value when you're looking at a sub, and that Comp Q10 that's got value.
It does.
Yeah. Definitely. And it's going to, like, the W7 is going to be how the L7X is. It's like it's kind of something like you had a legend. Like I have a Savard Vega Stroker OG in the closet over here. And it's like a legendary subwoofer. And it's something like you just want to say you had one at some point, that's where the L7X is heading. That's where the Solo X was. And I think that's where the W7 resides currently.
I'd agree to that.
Yeah. So let's answer another question. Stormy. Hey, if any of y'all feel like dropping off, dip out at any time. So I don't want to hold you.
I'm just sitting in like a 20-degree garage right now.
you got to keep the cap on, man.
I am freezing my ass off. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm sitting in a heated room with a hoodie on. So I'm suffering for you as well.
Yeah, I have to get me a hoodie next time.
excess power titanate or limitless lithium cyber. Need help choosing one. Stormy, we're gonna need some more information, my friend. Although, what are you running? We need to know what you're running. What are you running? What's the power situation? Which limit lithium cyber are you looking at? Like the 6K or the 12K? I'm assuming the 6K is comparable price wise to the Titan 8. So yeah, give us some more information. We'll help answer.
I think they're just a tad bit more expensive. I think.
Then depending on it, is the reserve cheaper or more expensive? I think it's the power of the reserve. One of them's more expensive on the Titan 8.
Yeah.
I put the excess power D3400 underneath the hood of my 4Runner, and with the hi-fi, big 3 kit and an upgraded alternator, and it's doing great for me.
Yeah.
Have you used your Ioxus cat bank yet?
No, I have not. I sent my AMM1 off for refurbishment to get the software update, and they're going to change the stuff. So I haven't got it back, so I haven't got a chance to test any amps. But I've got it sitting here. I've got actually some lithium that you guys have never seen, and then I got the headway bank I just built, and I want to just kind of compare them. They're price comparable. I want to compare them to each other versus like a Group 31 to kind of show people the difference.
I love mine.
Hey, Hi-Fi, you said you sent your AMM1 up for a software update. Is one of those features the fact that it won't turn off?
Oh no, I wish. Okay.
Yeah.
I maybe I could have requested that, but I did not, because I have like an OG AMM1, so I could not even do a live reading. I can only read sine waves, no music.
Oh.
So that's I'm just getting up to the standard, what people can do now.
I was just wondering if that was one of the updates you were getting. I'd send ours in to get that, because that's I know it eats batteries. I use the rechargeable lithium, or the not lithiums, the nickel metal hydrides in it, the 9 volts, and I'm okay. I just keep 4 batteries charged. It's just I wish it wouldn't turn off. I wish it would just stay on till I want it to turn off.
Yeah. That's the same with mine. It eats batteries, but
Kip, come on. If any of us can get this changed, I gotta say it's gotta be you, man.
I think I'll reach out and ask.
Tony might be able to make something happen, because I'm in favor, and I'm sure Derek would also agree, and anybody that uses AMM1.
We know what we're in for. It's just going to eat the battery quicker. So what? As long as we know that we've got batteries, what do we care? We just want it to stay on.
Yeah. I have 6 rechargeables, and I cycle them in and out, and I literally put a brand new rechargeable every single test I use on it.
Yeah.
Or not a brand new, but a freshly charged.
I've actually considered modifying mine to come out to go to like 2 or 3 batteries in parallel. That way it just has a ton of reserve.
Yeah. They also have a mod for those. So you can hook a USB bank up to them.
Oh, they do?
They do have. And I haven't done a lot of research, but I've seen some stuff. Derek hit me to it. So Stormy has the Titan 6 got 3 JP2300s. So we're talking like almost 9,000 watts, and 2x800 for the mids. I don't know if the Titan 8's going to cut it for you.
That won't be enough.
Right. You're going to need like the Cyber 12K.
And I don't mean to be the guy who's going to poop all over this, but what are you using for an alternator? Because at the end of the day, a battery is just storage and runtime to keep up with how short of a limit you have from your alternator. So what do you have for an alternator?
Yeah,
you're gonna at that point you need some sort of 100 amp ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah,
you need a
my
lot of
JS390 is pretty good. I love it.
I mean, you can put in a lot of battery. I mean, obviously battery tech's changed today versus when I got into audio first in the early 80s. The reality for me was I had multiple batteries in my car, the one under the hood, plus I had several more in the back. And I just knew I had a voltmeter that monitored the front. I had a voltmeter that monitored the back. I watched it. And when I was out on cruise night, when the voltage got down so low, I knew it was time to just turn the stereo system off and go out and run around the country for about a half hour and 45 minutes and bring those batteries back up. And then I could do another 15 to 30 minute run. The problem is a lot of people don't understand that you have to be your duty cycle, and you got to know when it's done and you got to know when you got to charge your stuff back up. You want it to run nonstop, and you don't have to do that. It costs some big bucks.
Right. Definitely. I mean, an alternator is not like a small. It's not like adding an extra battery. You're literally changing a whole part of your car out. So it's a little bit more mechanical ability.
Yeah.
If you're willing to do it.
My Mechman 320 was not cheap.
No, those are like $600, aren't they? Somewhere in that range.
Plus the install and
yeah.
But if you got 320 amps of voltage, that's a lot.
Right.
My JS 390, I think I got it on sale for $499 when they did their Christmas special or whatever.
That's a good deal.
That's a good deal for one, because you could pay. I mean, you could pay over $1,000 for one, depending on which one you're trying to get.
Hey, I see some stuff in the feed there. Someone's talking about DOA speakers. Man, if you got a kicker speaker that's DOA, I don't know of any company in the industry it's easier to deal with than us. The first thing you should do is not let them sit on a shelf. You should pull out your receipt. You should call customer service, explain it to them, and I guarantee it'll probably get taken care of. They'll also want you to talk to a tech, because are you really saying they're DOA? I mean, they came out of the box dead, or did you install them and do something wrong and now you're just be honest about it? I mean, that's all you got to say. If they're truly DOA, we're going to take care of it. Just get your invoice, your receipt, and call.
Yeah, I'm a returner, man. Especially like I order so much stuff online. Like if something's messed up, like we're gonna figure. I'm calling them. I'm gonna figure out what's going on. And if it ain't right, I'm returning that thing.
And when you're buying online, buy from, true dealers.
Authorized, an authorized dealer. Otherwise, you're gonna run into some trouble.
We go ahead. I'm sorry.
And there's fakes out there too.
There are fakes out there, and that's one of the reasons why we always promote that you buy from an authorized dealer. We had a guy that got into the social feed going back and forth between Bill Frog and I, and it doesn't. If Bill replies or I reply, it doesn't matter. It's just kicker. And it was kind of interesting. He was getting all upset because he asked if the dealer he bought it from was authorized. We told him no. Then he got upset about, well, what's the warranty? And he kept getting more and more upset. When it's like he asks a question, we give him the answer, and he keeps elevating his level of anger. And finally, we told him, said, listen, you should make sure it's an authorized dealer you're buying from. We can't change that. We're just telling you, no, you didn't buy from an authorized dealer. But yet you still have a 1-year warranty, even though that speaker should have a 3-year warranty if you'd have purchased it from an authorized dealer. As long as you've got a legitimate receipt, we're going to cover it for a year. And then he still copped an attitude. And I'm like, this guy kept asking these questions, and we're just giving the honest answers. And I'm like, what's going to make him happy? Lie?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Exactly.
He wants to be mad. It definitely.
Exactly.
All the time, yeah.
I could tell you stories about people bringing in, since I'm a locksmith, they'll bring in keys from Walmart and complain that they don't work. I mean, they literally say Walmart on them, and they don't work. And then they yell at me or want their money back. That's a good one too.
Yeah.
Oh man, how many stories of stupid stuff like that could we all share?
It's like whenever I see these memes going around on Facebook, where like Facebook Marketplace meme, where someone just seriously lowballs an offer, and he's like, "Okay, meet me at this address," and then the dude he shows up, he's like, "Okay, I'm here." He's like, "Now go inside." He's like, "All right, I'm inside. It's a comedy club." He's like, "Now go tell them jokes to them up there," because it's that ridiculous.
It sends them to a bank and tells them to get a loan.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a good question that scrolled by the feed. I've got this on my TV, and I'm also here on my phone, so I'm trying to be helpful here. Larry asked about alternators. If you have a 320 or 360, 300, whatever you have for an alternator in your vehicle, the extra doesn't go anywhere. The alternator only provides up to that amount of current draw if you're asking for that amount of current draw. So if your batteries are low, they're going to pull until they get charged up to the maximum output of the alternator. Once there's no more draw or demand from the vehicle, whether it's charging batteries or running the audio system or lights or whatever, the alternator just doesn't put out that much current. It regulates itself up and down. So it's not like there's this reserve that can't go anywhere. The alternator only produces up to its maximum capability when you put demand on the alternator. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how they work. Jeff says they were from Amazon. So listen, Jeff, pro tip, if they're from Amazon, it doesn't matter if they're covered by factory warranty or not. Amazon will take them back for you.
Yep.
So you can deal directly with them. You ain't got to go to the manufacturer.
Weber fan, I've used our speakers for home subs a lot, and I also use Pro Sound amplifiers to drive it. Like right now in my little shop apartment here at my wife and I are in, I have a 15-inch driver, sealed box, and I'm driving it with a QSC. What have I got on that? A 2502, I think. So I'm running about 2,500 watts into a single 15. I've used home drivers for subs, home subwoofers for years with Pro Sound amps. Pro Sound amps are a great value.
Yeah, for sure. You can get a ton of power with a Pro Sound amp.
Yes, you can. Just, man, I have a hard time with those Behringer iNukes, though. They're cheap, but man, there's a reason they're cheap.
Right. And Derek tested one. And I can't remember. It didn't make rated, but it did. It was like good for the money type situation. So Just Me asked, he has an audio question about box design. Every time I design a box, it ends up with a small port. When I see large ports on huge builds, is this because they're infinite baffle instead of true vented? Now, Just Me, when you're designing a box, you got to use software. Unless you're just I've played by ear and done a lot of messing around myself, but to know truly what it's doing, you got to go through a box design. You can see port velocity, your port area. So if you're not using a box design software, you're just shooting completely in the dark. Or go off manufacturer's recommended specs, and that's going to get you a general decent box.
Can I add to that, Vega?
Add to it.
Here's the thing, guys. Let me just give you a theoretical. Let's take a fixed box volume that we're not going to change. Let's just call it 3 cubic foot. Here I've got a box that's 3 cubic foot. And if I design out a kicker, when we design ports, if you call in and ask any of the guys to help you out, they're going to use Fine Box or they're going to use Term Pro. And we try to keep everything no more than 15 to 17 meters per second. We don't want the airspeed coming out of the port to be any faster than that, because that's when you get into chuffing and the port's making noise and adding things to it. So let's say we do the box calculation on 3 cubic foot and we come up to the tuning that we're looking for, whether 31 hertz, 33 hertz, whatever you're looking to have. And let's say it ends up being a 6-inch port that's 14 inches long. What you need to realize is you can go to a smaller diameter port, and when you do that, now we're not changing the size of the box, we're just changing the port. If you shrink the diameter of the port has to get shorter to maintain the same tuning frequency. But what happens is airspeed goes up, and the efficiency of that port to load its cylinder of air and actually give you more output goes down. Now, make the port bigger, and there's a limit. You want to stay roughly 16 to 18 square inches per cubic foot of box space is about a rule of thumb if you're going to go oversized. But if you make the port bigger in surface area, so go from a 6 to an 8, that port has to get longer to maintain the same tuning frequency. What's going to happen is there's more air in the port. It's going to be more efficient loading into the vehicle, but you got a lot longer port that you got to hide in the box or outside the box. So box design, sometimes I read the comments, all this stuff, I'm just going to, not that I'm trying to throw kicker in there, but like our TCWRTs and our TRTP, our downfire and underseat boxes that use passive radiators, those boxes are extremely small. And some people will say, oh, they're too small, that woofer can't sound good. Well, I want to know what your definition or what you're looking for, because those boxes are made to be as small as possible, tuned with a passive radiator instead of a port, so you don't have to worry about this obscene port link, so that you can get an enclosure tuned down into that low 30 hertz range. And for music, they sound fantastic. They're not made for floating babies. That's a different thing. So just keep in mind when it comes to ports, you can have literally a million different ports that all tune a box the same way, but they're all going to sound different. And so that's where a lot of trial and error and experience come into play. And like someone brought him up, like a guy like MBE, he's figured out that magic formula, and he's working to get the largest port possible so that he's got a very efficient port that's loading up into that vehicle. So hopefully that's some wisdom you guys can take away with this.
To follow up on what Kip said, here's my experience. I had the opportunity to get this Comp Q15 in July, and I wanted to figure out what's the best box. And I looked at some software. One of the first things I did, just take the measurements. I called the manufacturer and got hooked up with, I think it's Peter Johnson, right?
Oh yeah, Peter.
Yeah. So I got hooked up with Peter, and I said, hey, look, you know, here's what I'm going to put it in. This is the kind of music I'm going to listen to. The manufacturer oftentimes can really give you something to go on. Peter sent me, you know, some box designs. I changed my plan a little bit. I used some online box software, but then went back to Kicker and asked them, what do you think? And I think it was a guy, Brett, maybe.
I know Brett.
Brett and Tech. I said, hey, here's what I'm thinking. Now with I got a little bit wider, a little more space. You know, what do you think? How big a port? You know, it's the port area that I was really, you know, trying to dial in. But the manufacturer, a lot of times, could really help you out here. And you
know, Ronco 160. Yes, you can definitely push it too far, and that's the thing is some people think, well, if 16 square inches per cubic foot's good, I'm going to go 20 or 22 or 24. There comes a point when you make the port area so big, the woofer just unloads. The woofer doesn't see the air volume, even though mathematically it's tuned correctly. There's so much port area there, it's not loading up against the driver. So you are correct. You can go too far.
With my sub, the Comp Q15, I ended up with 5 cubic foot ported to 34 hertz with about 50 square inches of port space, and that's for loading. Right?
What sub was it?
The Comp Q15.
And I will tell you, I had a very similar box back in 2000 when I got my first L712, the gray cone L712, and I called Kicker. I don't even remember who I talked to. But back then, I didn't give a crap. I didn't give a shit about sound quality. I'm just trying to get loud. And I was like, yo, give me the loudest. I want the loudest box. I got 1,000 watts. Let's make this thing stupid loud. So I had I think it was 4.5 cubes tuned at 35 hertz. And I was doing 150 at 42 hertz in the S10 extended cab. So yeah, it was fun. It wasn't for music though. It was for
I think
getting
people have to
loud.
understand too is that, you know, you have to play around with your system. It's not, they'll get you close, but what you might think you want might not sound good to you once you get it there. A lot of times you got to mess around and just figure out what works.
Yeah. You could draw the whole plans up on WinISD. You can
all
run
goes
the
up in the
simulation, and you're like, "What the hell happened? This is
Sounds
not.
like crap.
This is not what they said was going to happen."
Hey, two things here. This is fun. First off, Big Mike, if you've got any question, you're asking about box design for Kicker drivers, man, there's no favor I could do you any better than to tell you 800-256-0808. That's the toll-free number to Kicker. You can call Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time. The guys up in tech, as I said, they have access to Findbox and Term Pro, and they can help you design up anything you need. If you'll just get your maximum width, height, and depths that you can give up, this is the maximum space I want to use in my vehicle, they will run that and they will do tuning for you and help you figure it out. In some cases, they may tell you, yeah, you want 215s? You don't got enough room, brother. You'd be better off with a single 12. They'll calculate that volume up, but what you have to provide them with is how much are you willing to give up, and then they can tell you what can work. And so I just got to steer you there every time. That's what they do Monday through Friday, and they're great at it. I mean, Peter Johnson, Brett, man, my brain's going to lock up here, the other three guys up there, but they're great guys. They know their stuff, and they do it every single day. So give them a call. And when it comes to box design, I want to share a little story with you guys. It wasn't with box design we were looking at, but Bill Brown and I were trying to figure out some ways to do some graphs to show information to people in the catalog. And so we were experimenting with this, and we happened to go downstairs and talk to JB, Jeremy Brown down R&D, who works with Aaron Surratt and Steve Irby on a lot of our product design. And he said, here, let me show you something I'm working on. And he showed us, he brought up on Term Pro a couple of graphs. He says, look at those graphs. And he said, tell me, looking at those graphs, would you pick one over the other? And Bill and I look at the graphs and go, I'd flip a quarter. Looking at the graph it was like they were almost identical, almost. He said, come with me. I want you guys to hear this. So he took us to the back, and he actually had both of these boxes built and had them in a test vehicle in the back. And we listened to them. And here's what I can tell you about box design software after this. Box design software might get you in the ballpark, but you are incapable of deciding if one box is going to be significantly better than another one looking at just the graph, because what I heard in the vehicle versus what I saw in the graph were not the same thing at all.
Definitely. I mean, you cannot. Software is going to get you so far. Your ears and your experience is going to take you the rest of the way.
Yes.
Let me share something real quick. So he asked, "Who is Dr. Boom?" And I'll show you who Dr. Boom is. He only has 14 subscribers right now because he started a new
I
channel.
just put a video up like an hour ago, so
yeah, you guys should check him out. Mullen Performance Audio. He
it was Mullen Performance, and then I put Mullen Performance Audio. That's my second channel. Yeah.
Well, because you also do some racing, right?
Well,
Like
I do a lot
and
of car stuff. Yeah, so I'm separating the car stuff from the audio stuff.
Yeah.
That was a Justin idea.
Hey, I mean, yeah, man. It's like it's a niche within a niche, and it's like,
yeah. Well, I do a lot of random stuff. I build.
Yeah.
I like to just build stuff, and building, speaker boxes and furniture and cars, and I have so many hobbies. I just don't have enough time.
Oh, story of Kip's life.
Yeah.
I don't have enough time for the hobbies that I enjoy. That is the truth. I completely understand that statement more than you realize.
Car audio has always been a staple, so it's been back since I was a high school kid.
Yeah.
But like I want to do knife making. That's something else I want to get into. I don't have the time.
Right.
Hey, can I answer that question from Tech Fanatic? Is that all right with you, Robert?
Yeah, let me get the, because I've been saving this one. You know how StreamYard is.
I sure do.
One comment.
No, that's good.
So my audio question. No, that's not it. That's not the one. Let me go down. See, it done skipped on me. Here it is. I got to answer the wire question. So Aaron asked, would running larger gauge welding wire be better versus multiple runs of regular car audio wire for a 10K system? Now, my opinion on this is running a very large gauge welding wire is tough. So if you can do a straight run and you're going to be able to carry the current, I think it's fine. You're going to do 4/0 or whatever you're going to do, and it's not going to be an issue for you. If, on the other hand, you need to do a lot of rerouting and stuff, I would run multiple 1/0. And I would prefer multiple 1/0s anyways if I'm doing multiple big amps.
Yeah.
I would agree that the things that people get focused on wire, the first thing is, and I say this because I know Rob and Dean love running me through the mill on this, don't buy CCA wire for your power wire, guys. Just don't. You're not doing yourself any favors. Buy 100% pure copper wire, period. Now, if you're worried about the wire turning green, or if you're in a high corrosive environment like a boat that's going to be out on salt water, you want tin-plated wire. Those are two things that you want. Now, next, make sure you're using real American wire gauge. I know on this car audio wire, because of the way we bundle the things up and rope them together, it's to get flexibility. So honestly, the testing that Hi-Fi does, where he actually takes a fixed length of wire and measures the weight, that's telling you how much copper is there. You can't go by the size of the wire, because depending on the roping size, there may be enough copper there to be a 4-gauge wire, but it may measure slightly bigger, and it has to do with the rope lay design, which leads to flexibility. So, I mean, when I first got into car audio back in the early 80s, I went down and bought welding wire because it's the only thing I had available to me to get the kind of current I wanted from under my hood to the back. And then companies came along like Street Wires and Monster Cable and all this other great stuff, and they started selling, the car audio wire, which was more flexible and prettier and easier to work with. But just use real copper. Just use real, true American gauge copper. That's your number one thing right there.
Kip, I've got a treat for you right here. The man who got you fired. You haven't been on Unmasked since this guy made a comment.
Oh, that's that's RGA. That's RGA.
RGA coming in.
What's up, dude?
This is cool.
So,
this is what I have to do now. I'm underground.
Right. So you got Kip fired. Are you sorry for it, or was it like intentional?
He's such an inspiration that I just felt threatened. I had to go after himself. Like I had so much envy, I couldn't help it.
Yeah. Dude,
Bob,
that was like I seen it. So when it popped up, I seen it, And then it seemed like it was a million seconds before Kip noticed it. And I'm like, I don't know what to do here. I don't know what to say.
I facepalmed so hard when I saw my comment.
Oh, dude.
Like, oh.
That was, I got attacked by StreamYard, which, as you know, happens, Rob, is I had my finger over a comment I wanted, and then it scrolled, and his comment came up, and I clicked it, and of course, I don't see it till it's up on the big TV in front of us, and I'm like, oh my God, what do there's nothing you can do but apologize, laugh, and go on, but, I've been enjoying my 5-week unpaid vacation, so thanks, RGA. It's been great.
Thanks, RGA. Oh, dude.
When
brother, you handled that so smooth. Like, that was professional. It was like, I'm good.
That's all you can do. There's nothing else you can do.
Yeah.
It was funny. Fortunately, I didn't lose my get out of jail free card, so I still have that. But the 5-week unpaid vacation, that's just what it is.
It's good to see your face, man. I'm pretty sure those of you who were sick were pulling for you. Like I've had comments before.
Well, I'll tell you, lots of people have reached out to me. I certainly appreciate it. For those who, it was COVID. I caught the Omicron 3 weeks ago, kicked my ass for about a week. And here's what's funny about it for me is I don't mind sharing is the COVID wasn't that bad. It was just like having a case of the flu. What's ironic is my wife and I both caught it together. She had a couple days of sniffles and was over it, but she had already been on some medication, had been taking it for about 2 months prior. So she was kind of prepared, I will say, because the medication she was on, my doctor put me on after he saw me.
Well, let's just be honest. Women are a lot tougher than dudes about getting
That's
sick.
true. They are completely.
Like if I can get sick and I'll deal with it. If I get a fever, it is game over. Like any other kind of sickness that I can deal with. If I get a fever, it is game over. I'm a baby. I'm not doing nothing.
So, the COVID's over. I'm through that. But what I'm dealing with and what's been hard wasn't the COVID, but I got diagnosed. I had to go back to my doctor, and I got diagnosed with what's called a cytokine or cytokine storm. Yep. And basically, my immune system kicked COVID's butt. And then when COVID was over, my immune system said, yeah, we're out here with full artillery, but we're not ready to go home yet. And so it attacked me. And so I had some severe lung inflammation that I'm still trying to get over. I'm on a couple different steroids that help bring that down. And so basically my doctor had to put me on this drug program. I've got more pills sitting over on the counter than Jimmy Carter ever had. And it's actually, it's designed to retard my immune system and slow it down and reset it over about a 4-week period of time. So the good news is I have a great immune system. It just didn't want to stop.
Yeah. And this all leads back to RGA. So again, thanks RGA. You not only got Kip fired, I heard you gave him the COVID as well.
I just love to spread that sort of thing.
Yeah. It's a one-man super spreader.
I don't know how he got it through that screen, but he did. I got to give him props.
Yeah.
It's all the times I licked Windows, Kip. It's everywhere, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's just like when you go to sleep, he's in your house. He's at Kicker Unmasked. He's licking everything.
I almost boxed up 2 Kicker koozies to give to Kip for a severance package after that. But I'm with you, Kip. I'm in protocol, and I got the steroids, all that stuff. Trying to get through it.
I feel for anyone who has to go through it. I mean, the good news about it is, as this virus is here to stay. It's here to stay. Number one, people think that it's something that's going to go away. It's not. It's a novel virus. It's going to be here forever, like everything that causes the common cold and flu. The good news is this last batch, Omicron, all viruses mutate because they want to live. Viruses figure out if they stay so virulent that they kill their host, they've got no way to live. So I think from this point forward, it's a fact everyone's going to catch it, or you're one of the lucky 30% who has the T and B cell immunity and you're not going to get it. But you're going to catch a version of this. You're going to get through it, and you're going to be just fine. The sad part is, and I say this, and it's not that I don't have a heart for it. I mean, I'm a cancer survivor. I'm a type 2 diabetic. So if there's anyone who has comorbidity issues that could cause them problems, I'm on that list. So I have empathy for anyone in that boat. But this is no better or worse than, say, someone who would catch a flu 3 years ago and end up in a hospital and have some serious problems. So I just hope that the rhetoric and the divisiveness of COVID will go away, and all of us can understand it's just a freaking virus, and we all need to deal with it, and we need to respect and have empathy for each other.
Yeah, man.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Did you lose your taste?
I didn't lose it completely, but everything kind of got bland. Nothing tasted good. I mean, it had taste, it just wasn't tasteful.
Well, I would
I
say most
lost
people
mine for 2 months.
Well, after seeing Kip's shirt on Unmasked when I was on, they might say that Kip had lost his taste before he even got there.
The one thing I don't like about the whole scenario is like the perpetuation of keeping people from talking about their experience. Kind of like us with the audio stuff, being able to share our experiences like this openly without any kind of censorship, I think would have been a better way to handle this scenario, because I had said,
RGA, can I tell you I love you? You are speaking more wisdom in that than you realize.
I call RTA the spoken word guy. That's what he is. Spoken word, man.
And sometimes those words get
awesome.
fired, you know. So.
Yeah.
thanks, William.
Oh no!
Then he's
Oh
dead.
no!
No biggie.
Oh, so if I missed your questions, if you never use StreamYard, like it don't let you scroll back. So I've missed your questions, pop them back up. We need more questions answered. Keep them coming. If anybody sees some, holler. We'll try to.
I'm gonna take this one, even if you don't pop it up, Rob, because he's popped it up more times than I can count here. Tech Fanatic says
JP. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Let me take that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what I want to say about that Tech Fanatic, and I'm not knocking JP when I say any of this. Understand that. JP is simply going offshore and having amps built in a build house. He's just throwing his colors and his name on amplifier. He's not designing amplifiers. It's not like JP has a design engineer, an electrician, or anyone who's designing amps for him. And those amps that he's come out with now, which are pretty dang cool, he ordered those 2 years ago, got in line to get those 2 years ago, which 2 years ago was before the big parts crash, China. I mean, what a lot of people may not realize, and I don't say this in a negative way, everyone has stuff built in China, Korea, Thailand, Taiwan, Malaysia, Japan. We all deal with those places over there. Right now, the Chinese government is doing everything they can. They believe in this zero COVID. They think that they can actually shut the country down and do lockdowns, and they can actually keep people from catching COVID. Well, first off, the world's finally figuring out you can't, and all this mask mandate and lockdown stuff is nothing but they've caused more damage with their reaction to COVID than just letting COVID do its thing. And so when you've got China who's locking everything down and there's no factories running, you can't get anything done. Now, on top of that, we design all our amps in-house. We design every single thing in Stillwater, Oklahoma. We pay for our own tools, our own dies and everything, and we do all those things. Normally, our engineers are flying back and forth to China, Malaysia, Thailand, Taiwan. We have a line of amps that are made in Thailand. Our engineers are back and forth all the time. No one's been able to travel for 2 years. The whole world's been locked down. So that's problem number one for us when it comes to design and engineering. Problem number two, whether you want to believe it or not, is when COVID hit, parts dried up like there's no tomorrow. We've actually had to go through our product portfolio and go, okay, we're going to build this amplifier out of this series. We're not going to build the other three. We're going to build these two amplifiers out of this series, but we're not going to build the other four because there's not enough FETs, transistors, resistors, capacitors. And the one thing with Class D is there is a chip, FIR owns the patent on it. There's a knockoff of this chip in China. It's called a China copy. And there's actually a copy of the China copy. Everyone uses all three of those chips. But if you make a Class D amplifier, any Class D amplifier, you're using that chip. That chip is hard to get right now. And if you can get them, and I'll just be honest with you, normally we paid about 75 cents a piece for those chips to go in an amplifier. And every single Class D amplifier has to have that chip at 75 cents a shot. Right now, if you can get them, the last batch we just paid for, they were $16 a piece.
I have a serious question for you, Kip.
Sure.
Since I've been on the repair side of electronic. I've got a Kenwood Super 11, old 1970s beast receiver. Trying to find like, new old stock electrolytics and stuff. I've run into the counterfeit Chinese parts. Have you guys as a company had to deal with that too?
But, yes. And I love sharing stories, but that's who I am. But let me tell you how this works. We design our amps. We sign off on every single part that goes in an amplifier. So if we say this amp's got to use a tip 35 and a tip 36, whatever parts we specify, the Gerber on the board and everything, it's our design. We send them over. The amps go down assembly. We get some back. We test them, make sure that they're approved, and we approve it. We've actually had it happen where we get all the way through and get to what we call the the MP, which is the manufacturing product run, where we've done everything up to that point. We've approved it. We signed off, and now we're ready to order 10,000 of these and 5,000 of these and 5,000 of these, and we hit the go button. We get the amplifiers in house, and then we do QA QC at assembly, and we do it again stateside. And when we do QA QC on stateside, all of a sudden it's not meeting THD, it's not making power, the return on's drawn too much current, whatever it might be. We've gone in and actually open up the amplifiers and go, those aren't the parts we specified. And we've had to go back to the Chinese vendor or the Thailand vendor or the wherever and go, what's going on here? We have a lot of other parts. What is good? We put on your amplifier. Be very good. And we have to go, no, now it's time for you to eat a whole bunch of amplifiers, because guess what? They're all coming back to you, or you're sending us parts to do rework stateside. We had a situation one time with a remote turn-on circuit that they started, the amps wouldn't turn on right, and when they would draw this horrendous amount of current through the turn-on lead. Our amplifiers are designed to turn on with like 0.01, and these things were drawing 3, 4, 5 amps of current. Charlie Fox, he was the engineer at the time, he went and got the Gerber files out, looked at this, and then he actually pulled an amplifier and he looked at everything, and he just drew a big circle on the Gerber file and went over to the amplifier and drew on it with a Sharpie and started pointing stuff out. And he said, it's not even our circuit. So we had to backtrack that. And our engineer have much better way for turn-on circuit, so we change for you and we use other part. And we go, well, guess what? You're getting ready to eat 10,000 amplifiers. They're coming back. Have a nice day. So if that tells you anything about the things that we have to deal with, is when you're a company that cares, where you get a product made doesn't determine its quality. Your QA and QC and how you hold people's feet to the fire determines your quality control.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what my dad taught me when I was a kid. Doesn't matter if it's made in the U.S. or a Toyota. Never buy a car built on a Friday.
Or right after lunch on a Monday.
Right.
Don't want that one.
Oh, man. Bobby, maybe at some point, man. Maybe at some point. I'm just, I'll slowly build it up. We'll get something going.
So to answer the ultimate answer to this question is, right now, parts are just hard to get. We can't have engineers going back and forth. It has completely slowed down our operation. If you're just taking something that someone's got off the shelf and slapping your name on it and putting a different color on it, and you ordered it 2 years ago, you've got amplifiers right now. But try to do that same thing right now, you're going to be waiting another 2 years to get amplifiers. We at Kicker have actually purchased parts that we won't see for 2 years, because if you don't get in line now, you will not have them in 2 years.
All right. While we're talking amplifiers and JP, I've got a confessional. I'm not a confirmed Catholic, but I feel like I need to go to confessional here. I actually bought the JP95. So it was the amp I.
They're cool amps, man.
They are cool amps.
It was the amp I needed. And as soon as I could get my hands on, I really wanted the Kicker. KX amps, right? The
KX is end of life, right?
Yeah, it's end of life. So I'm willing to ditch this thing and sell it as soon as I get my hands on the next generation.
Don't sell no car audio. Keep everything.
Yes. Fuego, all I can tell you is they're coming. COVID screwed it all up. There was supposed to be a line of amplifiers to replace KX that was released at the beginning of last year. They are coming, but when you see them, you're going to love them. They are cool.
Guess what?
I'm looking at it as a Band-Aid amp, right? Something to get me by.
Brother,
it's a great little amp, man.
The way it is. If I had $1 for everything I've bought in my 30+ odd years of jacking around with audio equipment, just to fill a void for a moment, some of it I wish I still had, because you never know till you know. Like that Super 11's a collector's item. It belongs to a friend of mine. Some of the stuff I've had has appreciated in value. Some of it's depreciated. Some of it I just miss for nostalgia's sake. I wish, I had been a little more savvy about what I was purchasing at the time. You never know. That JP amp, whether it be a shelf queen after you get your next amp or whatever, you know.
Yeah, oh, you could have got the rare bowling amp that ended up being a piece of junk, but it's hen's teeth now.
Yeah, those are rare as chicken's teeth. You're right about that.
Yeah.
Buy it and put it on the shelf.
Yeah. See, I had to get away from that. I got this room. This room looks a lot bigger than it is. I don't have very much room. But Andy, I'm going to do some sweatshirts. They'll be up there for sure.
Yeah, tell me about room, Rob. I got 9 feet of speaker shoehorned into a bedroom.
There you go. Hey man, that's why you can't collect subwoofers. Subwoofers take up too much room. You got to limit the subwoofers. Amps are easy. You can stack amps better.
No. Don't take. Oh, who was it that was on the podcast the other night talking about sitting in a horn? Let's just go there. You can't collect subwoofers.
Oh man,
that's funny.
You want to talk about room? I'm in the same boat as Kip. I think I've got a new house being built, and we're waiting on parts and all that. But I'm moving February 7th, win, lose or draw, into the new house.
So you promise you're gonna be in February 7th?
That's it. Yeah.
You know, if anyone will appreciate it, then it'll be you. There's been a lot of stuff that my wife and I have done in our new home ourselves. I've done some electrical myself. I've done all the low voltage myself. There's some plumbing stuff I've done. I mean, there's just some stuff I've done because it's my house and I can do it, so I am. Yeah. But what's ironic about the whole thing is, like Lowe's, Home Depot, there's a local place here called Lock. There's a few others that deal with the trades. Is like going in, they don't have anything like electrical boxes you might want or things. You've got nothing. So I've actually resorted to buying off Amazon what I can find. I've actually gone online and just found like Plaid Electric and other places. I've had to buy parts online, and the guy, like I had ordered, like I needed 12 of these outdoor Arlington brick inboxes for my electric to go in my brick. And there was no one had them. You couldn't get them anywhere. So I found a place, I think it was Plaid Electric, and I ordered 14 of them. And the guy called me. He said, "Hey, just want to let you know, I only got 9. Is that okay?" He says, "And there's no more to be had. I can't get." I said, "Yep, I'll take your 9. I'll find 3. I need 12." I said, "I'll find 3." But just finding even stuff like that. I mean, I know we're talking car audio, but when you get into the rest of the world, everything right now is hard to get. Everything.
Yep.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Car part.
I have a buddy that's an electrician, a buddy that's a plumber, and that helps a lot.
I've worn a lot of hats, and I was maintaining 11 apartment buildings before I switched over to do the nursing gig I am now, and I was running into that right at the tail end. It was hard to find drywall. It was hard to find a straight 2x4 to save my life. It was hard to find anything. And it was just like, man, this is a broad spectrum deal. You never know what's going to come up short, where or when, and it's affected every one of us.
Yeah. But if you got 12K, you can get a critical mass sub.
You know,
I have one. I have one sitting in the garage right now, and I actually think those are pretty good subs. I'm gonna do a review on it at some point. They're not a $12,000 sub.
It's the 12, right?
Yeah. It's a marketing situation. They're great. I think they sound good, and I think they're pretty good. They're not $12,000 sub.
When they had that 5.1 system and that 300 that I heard back in the day with the UL12, it was an amazingly different setup. So at the time, I think their marketing was in the right place, and they were trying to do something cool. But realistically speaking, with my experience on woofers, does it meet that price point? Hell no.
No.
Like, I've had a Wilson Audio Thor's Hammer subwoofer, and for repair, and that thing had a 6-inch peak to peak, and those are exorbitantly expensive as well. But like, to compare one driver from one facet of audio to another has been one of the areas I've been beneficial. So when I look at something like the UL12, I remember it fondly for what it was, and that if someone wants to pay that for it, fine. Do I think it's worth that? Hell no. It probably cost them, at the outset, $20 to make overall, even with carbon fiber or carbon tech being what it was then.
MSH68 just made a comment about trying to buy a new truck. I got to tell you, obviously I'm in Oklahoma, and Texas, that's what, trucks are cars here. I mean, that's just, everybody drives trucks.
Well, trucks are now the middle managers. They don't buy BMWs or Mercedes anymore. They buy a fancy boy truck that they're never going to put to work.
They do. And what's happening here in Oklahoma is, if you can find a new truck on a lot that got the features you want, you're paying sticker or sticker plus. There is no negotiating. It's just, if you see it, you buy it. But here's the crazy part. On the lots, there are trucks up to 4 years old with between 30 and 50,000 miles on them. And those trucks that are 4 years old are going for the exact new price of a 2022 truck or higher, because that's the only trucks people can get. So it's the entire, forget about JP amps or kicker amps or anything else out there. We are going through an unprecedented stall in the manufacturing chain of the world that none of us could have ever predicted or been told by our future selves that we would have believed them, because everything is jacked up.
When we're talking vehicles, it's interesting. Last year, I ordered a new work truck, 2021 4Runner. Waited 4 months for it, and got it, and picked it up. And the guy said at the dealership, "We'll give you $5,000 if you just sell it back to us right now."
Exactly.
I said, "What? It's not my vehicle, so it's the company owns it. I don't own it,
My son Parker, his girlfriend drives a Chevy Blazer, and she was driving a Blazer. Her Blazer was 3 years old. Her father called her and said, "Hey, I want you to come over Saturday morning. We're going to go down to the car dealership." And she's like, "Okay." So she went over with her dad, went down to the car dealership, because her dad just did the same deal. She turned in her 3-year-old Blazer that had 48,000 miles on it, got another brand new Blazer that was defeatured a little bit, but still was a brand new vehicle. And they gave her more money for her 3-year-old car than she paid for it 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
To put her in a new car.
I would never. I don't care how bad I need it. I'd never pay over MSRP for anything in my life. I will fix that piece of crap sitting in my yard. I'll pay $20,000 to get that fixed over paying it over MSRP for a new car. And matter of fact, like the people I see doing that, the dealerships, the $5,000 add-ons, like, I'm not going to you no more. I'm not buying nothing from you because I don't like that.
The Broncos at our Ford dealership are $50K over sticker.
Yeah,
what?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just seen that. Do you guys watch Donut Media?
I do.
Watching?
No
Donut
problem,
Media,
baby.
the car channel. They just done a whole video showing like reactions to bumping prices over vehicles, and some were like 80,000.
Yeah,
over stickers.
it's crazy.
But to show, to answer Jason's question here, so this was the original Solo Barrack shirt, and these are hen's teeth because I pulled this design off. I figured it was time to change it up. So yeah, man, keep it in the plastic.
That's cool.
I was raised up spinning wrenches. My first car was a 74 Coronet with a 318. And then after that, I got a cop motor for it out of a fucking Fury. And I was raised up spinning wrenches. And I've noticed, I mean, not poking fun at you, Kicker, but what do you think about the tech saturation? I freaking hate it. I got a freaking U-Haul truck I rented when mine was down to move some shit for a friend. And the freaking climate controls were in a freaking screen in the menus. I couldn't turn the heat on. It was cold as shit. I don't know how to navigate that garbage. I don't like it.
Let me dive into that. You're going to love me on this. Okay. First off, I'm a tech guy. I like tech. I like new cool toys and gadgets and things like that. But when they started going, so when you get into a vehicle and you start moving everything into a single touchscreen and you get behind it because you start promoting, well, this is more about safety and ergonomics, that's bullshit. Because in a normal car with normal heat and air controls, after I own it for about a week, I can drive down the highway, reach my hand down and adjust any control to any liking I want, and I never have to take my eyes off the road. I challenge you to do that in any car today and do it safely. You can.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
you're
it's
going
not
through
about safety. It's about they have figured out that if they integrate everything into one touch screen, that they can save money. They can do it all over electric. They don't need vacuum lines and all this other stuff. But more importantly, when it breaks, hey, guess what? This is going to cost you $4,500. You got to come here and get it done. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Well, listen, trucks need two things for me. They need a heating system. They need an air conditioner. I don't care even if power windows are nice. That's a nice option, but I don't really care if they have that. People are buying these trucks and they're just taking their kids to soccer practice.
Well,
They're like, why do you need a truck? What do you need a truck for? Well, what are you doing with this truck? You just got it because that's what the cool kids get now. And you don't even do. I'm saying I'm a blue collar guy. So like I buy a truck, I use a truck. I'm hauling stuff. I'm doing something with them. And I would reckon to guess people that are paying $80,000 for a vehicle and they're not construction workers or they're not doing something in a business, they're just for a showpiece.
Yep.
I'll say this, the modern truck, what I don't miss is that the old hand crank windows. That got old. I like the power windows.
Yeah.
All the stuff integrated. I mean, why can't I have just two knobs,
Yeah. And I don't want your stereo either. I don't want your stereo. I'm going to do my own.
Yeah. Tune in Tokyo. You know what I mean? I was just
like Mullen's got that cat eye Chevy. I've got my old 97. Prior to that, one of the funniest comments I ever got was the lady that owned the apartments I was working for, because I had a 1-ton 95 Chevy 6.5 boat anchor dually diesel. Not a small truck, right? 8-foot bed, dually single cab. I pulled up next to one of the new Silverado 1500s, just, a base model four-door, and it was like twice the size of my dually diesel. Like everything is getting more bulbous, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Isn't that a safety thing now, though? They make them more like crumply or something like that.
Yeah.
Crumple zones for crash.
Yeah.
Well, some of the safety stuff's great, like the lane assist, so people don't see in their blind spots where they pop up on the mirror. Stuff like that's cool, but it's not something that I need in a truck. I don't.
Well, my wife's got a 2019 Forester.
Yeah.
I try to drive it, and there's so many things going off and whistles. I went around the block.
You're driving a video game.
Yeah. I was like, I'm done. That's it.
My wife has a 2021 GMC Terrain, and it's got that cruise assist where you can set it, and it will match the speed of the car in front of you. But as soon as it finds, or as soon as that car slows down, it'll put you through the windshield trying to slow down.
When it decides you need to slow down,
and then the airbag goes off, right?
Right.
That scares me, man. Anything that takes the control and your attention off the road scares the hell out of me. Because I've had that same 6.5 diesel had a notorious PMD thing where if it failed, sometimes it'd fail an open circuit, sometimes it'd fail a closed circuit, but it was electrical. You had no physical connection to the throttle. Well, that son of a bitch, when it finally failed on me, it failed in a Burger King drive-thru. So I'm sitting there trying to cocksucker in with the duals spinning in a car in front of me, like trying not to kill these people. And at that point, I said, no more drive-by-wire. That's why I hate my Jeep so much. It's drive-by-wire. I don't want nothing I am not responsible for, cognizant of, or in control of. I think that needs to just go away. All that self-driving stuff, until it's proven, just seems to me more of a risk than a reward.
Well, let me answer this one then, because I have a comment on that. So, John, this is like a join-in. This one in particular is just a join-in show. The link that I keep sharing, that's how you join in. You can come in here, chat with us if you want. If not, put your questions in. Now, my comment on that is I'm looking at vehicles. I want a second vehicle. I don't need a new vehicle, but I need a second vehicle because when you drive an old vehicle, they're unreliable over time. So you need to have one going at all times. So I need a second vehicle for when the trooper breaks. I can drive that while I fix the trooper. And when the trooper, whatever I have breaks. So I'm looking at a 90. I seen it was a 94 F250 long bed, single cab. They wanted, it had like 120,000 miles, and they only wanted like $4,000 for it, which maybe, you know, 2-3 years ago might have been a little high, but now it seems like a steal.
Yeah.
So I might go back to something like that. I need an old heavy duty truck. I think it'd be cool.
It's nice to be able to fix them with a hammer, but if like here, depending on where you have to source parts for the older vehicles, like my 97, there was enough of them built that I can find parts pretty much anywhere, and there's kind of a resurgence in availability for them for interest. But like, I would look around at your pickup parts and make sure they didn't institute that 2001 forward mandate where they crush everything old, so that if you can't necessarily get parts for it at, you know, your local O'Reilly's or whatever, you know, you can still go to a pick apart, because you can still fix those older trucks with a hammer practically.
Yeah.
Also, pick apart's still an option, but make sure the parts availability is there for anything you're going to buy. Otherwise, you're going to wind up with a fucking, you know, lawn ornament longer than you anticipate, rather than a back.
You know, Cash for Clunkers kind of ate a lot of those up. You know, us that guys that like old cars, Cash for Clunkers was like, no.
I don't know if you guys have that KRS for kids ad that comes out. Oh God, it's terrible.
No.
Same thing though. They just want you to donate your vehicle, and
which it like, to normal people that aren't car guys, it sounds like, oh cool, like you're gonna give me over market value for this old piece of crap, because that's what it is to them. To me, it's a 94 F250 long bed with a 5.8 liter that's like, yo, I can fix this easy. I can rebuild this motor. I could get the transmission rebuilt very cheaply, and under $5,000 I can have a rebuilt motor and transmission in this thing and drive it the wheels off of it. But then it's an old piece of junk that they have to pump the pedal to start it.
I'd like to see more skills. They took shop class out of schools and stuff, and that's always bothered me. It's almost like taking away that self-sufficiency, because, like, you know, like you're talking about, Rob, I can get a rebuild kit for my 350 for like $300, and that's from rings to freaking main bearings. If you have the wherewithal and the skill to do it. Now, where do we perpetuate the skills to actually be able to do that? How many people nowadays in this current generation know how to rebuild an engine or knows how to spin a wrench? I'm teaching my kids that as much as I possibly can. Put hands on things, learn how stuff works, get creative, think outside the box, make stuff work for you, kind of stuff, because I'm watching it die off and I don't much care for that.
I learned all that stuff when I was a kid, but then the cars went complicated. You know,
I stopped doing car audio in 05 when you started having to have like the OnStar interface to get around the security system, because I worked on a Cadillac. I was doing a system install on a Cadillac in my driveway. Damn OnStar went off, said I stole the car. Cops showed up, and I was completely clueless as to why that happened. And I wasn't going to touch nothing 05 or newer.
You bring that up. I got to share this story because this is funny. So I bought the first generation. I have a 2012 Ford Escape. That's what I drive every day. And I bought a 2001 Ford Escape when they first came out. Of course, audio system, speakers, everything. And of course, I put a remote start security system, the whole thing on the vehicle. And I've literally installed thousands of these guys. I mean, it's not like it was my first rodeo. But I learned on this 2001 Ford Escape the way the door locks and the fobs, everything worked. I'd actually got to a point where I rolled both of my key fobs out of the vehicle. I couldn't even start the vehicle with the keys that came with the vehicle, much less the remote start. And so I didn't, at that point, I'm like, okay, it's got time to do some research. So I got online, I started reading and doing some research, and I found out what the model number was of this programmer that you had to have to get back into the car and reprogram in your factory lock or your factory fobs. So I call around to a couple locksmiths here in Stillwater, and finally the third call, the guy goes, "Yeah, I've got that thing." He says, "But I don't even know how to use it. It's a brand new tool." But he says, I said, "Hey, you're going to charge me for a service call the way." I said, "Just show up. I'll figure it out." He said, "Are you serious?" I go, "Yeah, just bring the tool to me. I don't have the tool. I need the tool." And fortunately, he did. He brought it over and he let me use the tool, and I worked my way through it, and I was able to roll both my keys back into the car and then roll the bypass for the remote start to work as well. So to say cars are getting more and more complex is not a lie. In some cases, if all you do is plug a module into the data bus and it gives you all these great features, it's kind of easier. But there is that transition period between that with what we have now and what it was back then, where you could really screw things up.
Do you know how hard it is to explain to a customer that has a key? They hand it to you and they say, "Give me 2 of these," and it's a program key. You can't do nothing with it, and it's like, okay, this key's going to cost you about $75 each.
Yes.
And they're like, "Oh, I can't do that."
What do you do for
Sorry.
keys, man?
I can't give you a free one, bro. We're in an
It's
impasse
funny.
here.
That's hilarious.
Nuts.
Someone asked a question earlier too, and I want to answer it just real fast. They were asking about for a home subwoofer. I'll be straight up honest with you. I've used a lot of the kicker drivers in making home subwoofers, and if I had to choose one, I would use a Comp Q15. I think the Comp Q15 for a home sub is phenomenal.
Let me give you. Hold up. You guys can answer any questions because I'm going to give him.
I think it'd be a good choice, Kip. Given the specs that you guys have for that, that would be a good driver. I'd like to see more car audio drivers utilized in home theater.
You know what's ironic is you open up a lot of these, and I'm not saying there aren't some extreme home theater subs out there now. There are. I mean, you can look at some stuff from JL, you can look at stuff from Paradigm, you can look at stuff from SVS. There are some extreme home subs out there now. But a lot of these big name brand subwoofers that people know, if you actually take it apart and look at the drivers, they're not impressive. They're actually designed to have a little different FS, a little less motor, because we've talked about the possibility of making a kicker home sub and offering it at kicker. And, you know, our engineers go, well, we wouldn't use the same drivers. We might use the same design, but we would redesign the motor because in the home environment, it is a slightly different thing. But I've used our car drivers and made home subwoofers and had very good success with it. So I can't say you can't do it.
Yeah,
if I dip out here in a second, I'm down to 1%. So
okay.
when I dip out, I'm done. And I'm done.
All right, see you, Sean.
All right, man. Sorry, guys.
Thanks for calling in.
See you, Sean.
No problem. All right, I have a suggestion here for a home sub. And guess what? It's not a kicker. But check this dude out right here. It is the Stereo Integrity HT version 3, $199. I believe it's free shipping in the United States. And this thing, I've done the V2. I've had the V1, the V2. I can vouch for these subs. They're very nice subs.
They are nice.
Yeah, Stereo Integrity is really nice. My friend Life of Bliss has their 24s.
Oh, those are super killer.
Yeah. The home audio is where I kind of gravitated after car audio, but I've still got a vein in every kind of audio imaginable because I'm a nerd like the rest of us. You know, it's kind of a natural progression.
Yeah.
So you can't avoid it. It's in your blood.
Yeah. That's what keeps me around, that and people that, you know, talk to me and watch my stuff and appreciate what I have to say.
I had a question for Kip.
Yeah,
I'll try. Go for it.
Kip, so I have these old kicker Soliberic S10Cs.
Okay.
Old school. And it was always said only sealed boxes. I've got a DATS. I haven't ran the DATS on it.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, I want to use these in home audio. And so I'm thinking I've got the DATS. I'm going to run the TS parameters on them, but I think they could be good in a ported box.
Here's what I'll say to that. The original Soliberic, and if you go through the progression of them, and I still have a soft spot in my heart for the Soliberic D series, the round D series Soliberic in a sealed box was a total badass. It was a velvet hammer. It did things in a small sealed box that it shouldn't be able to do.
Right.
And the market's changed, things evolve. We brought the Solo Classic back. People said, well, bring the Solo back. Well, we did. No one bought it. It was the same thing, just updated, and people didn't really want them, even though they say they do. When it comes to subwoofers, you can run the efficiency bandwidth product, and you can just say, okay, this woofer leans itself more towards sealed, or it leans itself more toward being ported. You can do all those things. But at the end of the day, because people ask us this question all the time, well, I want to run free air. I want to do that. You can do what you want to do with any subwoofer that's out there. Just understand that the way that sub is designed, it may not be the most efficient or effective driver in that application, but it doesn't mean you can't use it in that application. People ask about running free air all the time, and we tell people all the time, take any kicker woofer you want, run it free air. Just understand it's going to take a whole lot less power to reach mechanical limits. So any power rating you see on that sub, cut it in half.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got these old Solar Barracks right now, and 0.6 each sealed.
0.66, bro. 0.6.
I've done about every stupid thing.
But I with a lot of
if
power,
you remember, it was 0.33, 0.66, and 0.88. That were the recommended enclosures for them.
It is.
That's correct.
Yeah, I think it is 0.66. Hey, Kip, what's your opinion on polyfill, no polyfill?
Here's what I'll say about polyfill. If you're someone who is going strictly for SPL, if that's all you're worried about is how loud does the box get, polyfill's probably not your friend. Because one of the things is if you do a ported cabinet, first off, I'm a polyfill guy. I like the way polyfill smooths out the response of any cabinet. So I'm a polyfill guy. But if you're doing a ported box, you can't use the loose stuff. You got to use the batting. You got to glue it or staple it so that it stays attached to the sidewalls. You got to take that into account. And that polyfill batting is going to slow down the air pressure coming out of the port. So for these guys who are worried about smoothing every surface there is and getting the most air sliding out of the port to hit an SPL meter, is polyfill or batting your friend? No, you don't want it at all. But if you're building a box to sound good, I am 100% on board with polyfill every day, all day long.
Okay, that
well said, Kip. And you can't defeat physics. Like if you have a ported enclosure and you're worried about flow dynamics, common sense applies. If you have a box that has the slot port, make sure you're not obstructing the airflow.
Correct.
And there are other options besides polyfill. Like in my VS120s over my shoulder here, they came with freaking carpet jute from the factory. Not ideal. Cheap shit. They fucking use carpet. I put in acoustic egg crate foam, and I changed up the dynamics of how that works, and I rebraced the cabinets, and I really thought through what I wanted these things to sound like and what I was trying to get out of them. And if more people would think about other potential options, like the East Coast sound back in the 70s with the fiberglass, there's a lot of options. There's rock wool. I was just going to say that rock wool is a great material to use inside enclosures.
Yeah.
Well,
Thumper, this video exists. My buddy Nick, Toys DIY Audio, done this video like 3 years back. Go to his channel, type in Toys DIY Audio. Does polyfill really work? Something like that, and it'll pop up.
Yeah, Nick and Justin are invaluable. I love those guys. They put information that I wish I could frame with all the garbage I have in my head into words in a way that I wish I could have done back when I started YouTube.
And here's something I want to add to this, and this goes back to the story I told originally. There are things that you can look at with a measurement device that you can measure and quantify with a measurement device. But if you actually then sit down and listen to those things, sometimes what's quantified with the measuring device doesn't translate into something that is audible, or sometimes it translates into something that is much more audible. And I think when it comes to polyfill, egg crate foam, rock wool, all these things you can use to damp a cabinet, what you hear, I think, is much more dramatic than what you measure. Is it measurable? Yes. But what you end up hearing out of it, the qualitative side of how the bass sounds, you can't measure that. It's something your ear hears. And so that Toys that you're talking about, I've watched that video, and yes, he did do some measurements and showed that it was changing things. But what I'll also say is, at the end of the day, one of my favorite phrases, sometimes things are much more demonstrable to your ear than what a graph or a measurement stick actually tells you.
I'll tell you this, on polyfill, my mom, God rest her soul, is still mad for me stealing the pillow and shoving it in my sub box. So,
my friend Aaron's Audio Corner had the clipple, and he's a science guy. And the way that I would like people to frame the whole audio thing is take everything as a feather in your cap. Take the measurements, take what you hear, take as much information as you possibly can to form what is going to work for you. leave no stone unturned. Anybody that focuses on one facet's only going to screw themselves down the line, because you get that target fixation and it doesn't fucking work, because every scenario is unique and individual.
Let me tie into that, RGA. And I got into this discussion the other night with Andy on his marathon that he got me into. All of us can get into, and I'm in that way too. I'm a scientific mind, numbers, facts, but sometimes, and I figured this out, sometimes you got to let go of all that stuff and just remember why you're doing this to begin with. And if you can sit down in front of something and it sounds good and it's pleasurable and it's listenable, does it frickin' matter that it's not hitting 28 hertz? Does it really matter if it's got 3 dB of ripple in the bandwidth? Does any of that matter if you are sitting down by yourself or with friends and family and enjoying the experience? And sometimes I think we let chasing the facts get us away from why we do this to begin with, which is the experience of listening to music, period.
Yeah.
So don't let chasing all the numbers get you to the, don't spend your life trying to chase the numbers and not enjoying what you're here for, which is enjoy it.
Well, and that's like I always say, don't check off the boxes. This is what people do. They see what I say, what somebody else says, and they're like, okay, these are boxes I have to check. And I'm going to check. I'm going to get this, this, and this. And this is what I'm going to do because this is going to make the perfect build. That's not what's going to make the perfect build. That's going to make a portion of the perfect build for whoever box you're checking. You need your own personal reference of this stuff. Take everyone's opinion and see what the common themes are. If you like this, if you like an amp that I say I like, you know, maybe he likes about 10 or 12 different amps that I like. Maybe we're pretty similar in listening. He likes these speakers. I also like these speakers. So when I listen to something, I say I like something you haven't listened to, chances are you may like that. So you can't just take one source for all your information. That's not how it works. Don't go to just HifiVega's channel and whatever I say is gospel. Go to everyone's channel. Go to Aaron's Audio Corner. Go to the DIY Audio Guy. Go to Kicker Unmasked. Go to RGA's channel and listen to him
Go to my channel
on Savard Vega.
Don't go to my channel.
Man, the thing for me is I love talking specs. I love talking about let's do it right. I love all that, just like any of the people in this Hollywood Scare panel and the multitude of people who tune in and watch this. But man, if it comes across as any wisdom, is enjoy your system for what it's meant for, and don't let the fact that a measurement tells you it should sound bad. We do this at Kicker all the time. We'll go into a room like these headphones, these Cush NC headphones. I'm not trying to brag, but I was on the team of 5 that designed the sound curve to these. I had a complete hand in how these speaker products turned out. And yeah, speakers sound how you want them to sound. You tune them to do what you want. Is it perfect? Is it what everyone likes? No, you just try to make an overall good sound that you think is good for just about everyone. But at the end of the day, you got to let go and just appreciate the music, the release. Yeah. I mean, it was a post I made in my personal Facebook page a couple of days ago, and I was talking about, sometimes the music can just never be loud enough. And I'm sitting here in the house, and I've got the system cranked full tilt boogie. I mean, I'm shaking the glasses and stuff in the kitchen. I mean, my sub is giving it all it's got. And it was just about 30 minutes of release because life had me in a spot where if I didn't decompress, I was going to be that guy on the poster at the post office. And, at that point, does it matter the sub doesn't reach down to 22 hertz? Nope. Does it sound good? Yes. Is it hitting me in the chest? Yes. Am I enjoying it? Yes. Is it reliable? Yes. There's a time to worry about numbers and things if you're trying to solve a problem. And then there's times to just sit back, relax, and enjoy what it's meant for, and quit worrying about the details they're going to take away from an emotional experience that you can't measure with scientific facts and numbers.
Right. And for most of us, this is a hobby. So if you're working in the industry, that's much different. But if you're not, this is a hobby. And when it starts not being fun, dial it back a bit, bro. Like just bring it back. Like, you don't have to hate someone because they love Scar. You don't have to hate someone because they love Sundown. You don't have to hate Kicker because they sell at Walmart. You don't have to hate JL Audio because the way they sell their stuff. People are allowed to love whatever they want to love. You should love what you want to love, and do not get crazy, man. Have fun. When this is not a hobby to you and it starts being a chore, like, just dial it back a little bit. Let's have fun.
That's one of the reasons I came to respect you, Big D, Kip. I tend to gravitate people who have, a sensibility about them, but also a humanistic realism. Like, we've all seen it through the progression of YouTube and things like that, where there are talking heads that you can just tell are sales shills. And then there are the people, oh, hi, Justin. There are the people that they actually have that inherent passion. Music saved my life. When my son had his stroke, we were doing the physical therapy and stuff with him, and music got him moving. It's colorblind. It's religionless. It's something that we all universally have enjoyed since the first primate crawled out of the ooze and fucking drummed on a log. That is the core value that turned me into kind of what I feel like being a Johnny Appleseed. I go and I spread as much positivity about the shit as I possibly can, and just kind of sit everything I know on the back burner. If I can help a fella or inspire someone to pick up a soldering iron or go check out a different driver, because none of us, we all know this. There are so many brands and speakers and years of lineage. None of us can know it all. So, like, if I see something one-off that's cool, I'm going to share that.
Let me say hi to the DIY guy. Justin showed up in the chat. We got one more waiting. So what's up, Justin? What are you doing?
Someone said my name, so I couldn't resist popping in and saying hello. So it's like I'm like Beetlejuice.
That's the same thing. If I hear CCA 3 times or I see it in chat 3 times, I pop up like, hey, there I am.
That's awesome.
I'm happy to
saying
for the next man to take his 5 minutes of fame.
Kip was talking about the importance of enjoying the music and this sub doesn't hit exactly that low or 3 dB of passband ripple, and that's exactly right. I've now tested enough stuff to realize that some of the stuff you see in the numbers I can't hear. Maybe there's something wrong with me, but maybe I can't. And I think
there's
about
something wrong with you, but I think
absolutely.
Well, there's something wrong with all of us, but
yeah. I think about over the last year, I've run a lot of subwoofers through my truck, and most of them just sitting on the back seat. A Dayton Ultimax 10-inch sub, a wonderful Kicker Comp R that I've enjoyed a lot. I've got a Sundown in there now, and the only ones I've run through that I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Were a set of Belvas, I think they were, that Sonic Electronics sent me out to review. And my conclusion on those was, if you only have $250, this will make bass. And I've got footage that's going to explain why it was so bad. The amplifier on that thing doesn't clip. And I've got my I got my oscilloscope showing the amplifier never clips, but I also have a meter showing that it distorts after it puts about 80 watts out, and so it's garbage. But if your equipment is functioning properly and from a halfway reputable manufacturer, you should have decent audio. And I'm getting ready to swap the Kicker Comp R back in. My teenager though says that he wants the Comp R in his box in his vehicle when I get his installed. He said that's the one I want. That one right there, Dad.
You don't try to slide that belt in on them.
No,
I see you. Let me invite our next guy on here. Y'all ready?
I know who it is.
No, it's not.
Oh, I didn't. Oh man, I'm totally wrong.
It was Cody. What's up, man? Who are you in chat? Who are you in chat?
I'm just a fan of all you guys, and was like decided to come on and say hi, and I was able to get it set up walking, and that was an accomplishment in itself.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, where are you from? What are you running?
Right now I am running 6 OEM 8s out of a Ford Explorer.
Okay.
It's
I feel like I read a comment about this on my channel the other day. Did you make a comment the other day?
Yes, that was me.
Yes. I want to hear more. I'm going to shut up.
Yeah. So back in like 2002-ish, Ford had Alpine make 8 inches for them. Well, at one point, Alpine stopped making them and Ford started making them, but they were still based off the Alpine design. And then they updated it. But I have the old 2004 ones. I have 6 of them in my trunk on about 400 watts. It gets down. It's sealed. I want a ported box. I have $20 in it. 40 if I include the amps.
There you
Do
go,
I have
man.
one next to me? I had one next to me like 10 minutes ago. Yes, I did.
Respect,
Also had
dude.
the OEM amps hooked up, but the heel.
Yeah.
I blew that one.
Something's going on with that one.
I hooked it up backwards because the wires are not color coded. I actually have one next to me.
OEM, the car companies don't want you hooking things up. That's why they mess the
right.
wires up.
That's the truth.
JDC Gigatube 8. This was
OEM 08. This is the new version. This one bottoms out way too easily, so I don't use it.
Wow.
But
That's funny. You know,
I do have
Kicker
something you
makes-
probably haven't
showed-
seen in a long time.
What's that? Oh, Legacy.
Legacy.
Oh, man.
I know that.
And
That's what-
it walks. I had to replace the caps in it. I have a bunch of old audio that I need to get rid of, but I don't.
You know, I heard you say something Hi-Fi. I mean, you've seen them. You've walked through the place. I mean, we make OE drivers that are, you know.
Oh yeah, they're the same drivers.
Yeah,
pretty much.
they are.
You know, yeah, and it's a lot of times you don't see that. So Derek was like, you know, me and Derek we were kind of shocked, like, whoa, these are actually real Kicker drivers. We didn't expect to see that.
A lot of people don't. They expect you if you're doing an OE driver. And they're our company. The thing for us is we made the decision that if we were going to put a Kicker OE driver out, it was going to be made by Kicker and approved by Kicker. And unfortunately, what tends to happen is people just license their name out and they don't actually have any hand in making the product. And that's not the case with us, as you've obviously seen.
Right.
Or
All right.
JBL in the 90s, for example.
Yeah. Well, JBL makes everything. JBL and Eminence.
They licensed the drivers to Ford, so I found both ones that were made by Ford labeled JBL and ones that were actually Harman Corp. So,
Right.
like, that's just the reality of it. But
The funny thing about that on the OE side is Philco Electronics, which used to be part of Ford and got spun off to Philco, they actually eventually turned into a company called Vistion. And Vistion is a company that specializes in car sub-assembly parts. So Vistion doesn't make cars, but they'll make air conditioner modules, power window modules. They'll make audio systems. They will make all these sub-assembly parts that GM, Ford, Honda, Toyota, anyone can go and buy. And so you might find this interesting because this goes back 23, 24 years for me, is Vistion invited Kicker to come visit Vistion. And they wanted to do the song and dance and show us the DSP technology they were working on, et cetera, et cetera. It's because we were working on the OE side. And so we did. We went and got the whole song and dance with Vistion. But at the end of the whole presentation, this is what it boiled down to. They said, we design audio systems for just about anyone. We go out and bid these systems for OE manufacturers. And so while we're sitting in front of Honda, we tell Honda, we've got this 6-speaker radio system ready to go. What do you think? Would it sound good if it was labeled Alpine? Oh, that doesn't work for you? What if we labeled the system Harman Kardon? Would Harman Kardon be a better fit for your customer base? And what they wanted us to do is they simply wanted to license the Kicker brand name from us, and we would have absolutely no say or control in any of the systems that go into the OE, because Vistion designs the system, and then they literally attach a name brand to it that the manufacturer of the car felt would fit their customer base. And so I got a real in-depth experience with how all that works. And a lot of those name brand products you see out there, they have nothing to do with the actual manufacturer of the product, because all they did was license their name to the Vistion pool so that they could use it.
Yeah. Listen, with that being said, I have somebody else to bring into the chat here. So let's see who it is.
What's going on, everyone?
It's Candy Andy.
Candy Andy.
I'm here. I try to resist, I got some family time in, but I'm like, you know what? Everyone's jumping on tonight. I got to join you guys. And I got to be there for my buddy Rob. What's going on, everyone?
Hey,
Yo.
what's up, Andy?
So I'm looking at this, and like half the people on the call got hit by Omicron.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. One of them.
I had it in October, so.
More than
One of the
half. Oh,
26
Cody
variants.
had it.
You know what?
Rob, are you the only one who hasn't had the COVID?
I've never even been tested for COVID. I haven't had the symptoms, so I don't know. I might be like the 1% that's kind of immune to it. I don't want to. Let me knock on this wood because I definitely don't. I don't want to get it because if I get a fever, like I said, I'm a baby. So
So am I.
Yeah, here's the deal, Rob.
My wife would tell you.
I work with a guy that's been exposed all the time,
yeah.
and he had a DNA test, 95 percentile for Neanderthal DNA.
Oh
Wow.
shit! I'm a Neanderthal.
I know a few guys like that.
You might be. I've immune to everything.
Well, it might be, man. I am a bit of a knucklehead. I'll admit it. Everybody knows I'm a knucklehead.
I got the bug, and I'm in protocol right now. So.
Oh, this is my worst fear right here. This is why I don't want to get it. The fever, and then I don't want to lose my sense of taste, man.
Mine came back.
Clearly,
I was
with this
scared
green
too.
hoodie, I've got.
I was
taste.
scared. I love food, man. You know, and I'm
me
like,
too.
it just doesn't taste quite the same. So you got to let us know, Kip, if your taste starts to come back, because it takes a while.
I never lost my taste. It's just
Right.
things got bland.
Yep.
I completely lost mine.
Wow, that's crazy.
I have a video of me eating an onion like an apple.
Oh,
It's just spicy water. That's all it was.
Oh,
you sure that
dude.
was Corona? You sure?
Oh, it was bad.
You might have had something else.
Yeah.
I had it. My wife had it. My 4-month-old had it.
Yeah.
I knew,
like, was it true? Like, so my plan is like, if I lose my taste or whatever that happens, can I just eat like broccoli for every meal and be okay? Or does it still taste just as bad? I actually like broccoli, so let me say green beans because I hate green beans. So but I could eat broccoli, but I hate green beans.
I
Does it work
knew
like that?
I knew I was in trouble when I had a little bit of cottage cheese, and I dumped like a half a container of pepper on it, and I ate it. And I couldn't taste the pepper.
Wow.
Oh no.
That's crazy. It really affected your taste buds that much. Like Kip said, mine, everything sweet just tasted kind of bitter, if that makes sense. Sweet,
Everything's
you just
like
tasted sour.
spicy taste
You know,
and
in the
sweet.
back of your, I don't know. It was weird.
Well, I could taste the salt, but not the pepper.
Wow.
That's so insidious, man. It's like bad enough. Okay, all the other stuff's going on. Like we're gonna take your smell and taste away.
Oh, it was awful.
Like yo, man, yo, come on. Like, all right, you could kill me. You could kill me. Don't take my smell and taste away.
Well, though, I mean, I've been waiting a year and a half for a radio for my vehicle. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm willing to die for that, but
Right.
not this.
Oh,
Yeah, I wanna say,
RJ's back.
Shout out to Cody, man. He got 4.8 OEM subs, so that's just like OEM, like
I
vehicle
have 6.
made.
I have 6 OEM. I want to do
6.
8. I want to do 8 and about. They want 0.6 cubes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna aim for around that to 1 foot, just
Right.
to see.
Get better
Put
low
it
end.
And
Yeah.
put 8 of them in it, and just slap
Cody-
800 watts at it and see what it does.
I just
Hey
think
Cody,
it's pretty
tell
cool.
me what year model cars those were in. The next time I'm trolling through a junkyard for door panels for a video or something, so I can try to find them.
02 to I think like 2010, and then they started changing stuff. But it's like 6 bolts. I want to know what one of these would do on the dyno, cause I used to have a Rockville 15 in a box I won in an audio comp, and I didn't have a way of hooking it up because I sold my amp. And I literally hooked this up and plugged it into my cigarette lighter, and then put an amp needle on it, and it was pulling 7.5 amps. And I was flexing my windshield with this powered from my cigarette lighter.
Sometimes it doesn't take much power to get loud, and you have efficient drivers. You know what I mean?
These are tuned really high, so even though it will play 20 hertz if I send to it,
Yeah.
it's still struggling. It wants to play like 65 to 80 hertz.
The Omicron took Kip out, took his battery out.
Oh no. I was wondering he
Farewell,
disappeared.
friend.
It was.
Yeah.
I have another one. This one I just put in this box. This amp is not the correct one for the speaker.
Wow. So that's a stock amplifier for what vehicle?
Yes, Ford Explorer.
Okay. Jeez. And then you're running you're not running that on all 8 or however many subwoofers you have.
About a week ago, I had 6 of these in my trunk.
Okay, so each one. Wow. Okay, so I mean, you're doing it right in a way. Just very different. I think it's cool because a lot of people.
I did it for $20, box and all, because the box was a scrap box I picked up with an old school Sony in it and an old school MTX. I sold the Sony for $20 and made my money back. The other sub got put in another box with an old Optimus 12. Found that in the junkyard. Didn't even pay for it. It was given to me. Sold that for $50, and then I just had this box laying around with some wood from another box that was scrap, and I was like, let's cut it, put 6 6s in it, see what it does.
Those are the best builds,
one of the amps. So this one I killed wiring it up because I wired it up backwards. I melted the fuse, and then I have another one in the car. Like a few days in, it started sounding funny, and it was making a pop sound, and I was like, oh. I killed the amp because I swapped the wires around. Well, I unplugged it because it all has. I threw it on the floor somewhere. It's all plug and play. It just plugs in. Well, I unplugged the harness, put it on another amp, and the speaker started playing again because I thought I snapped some tinsel leads.
Oh wow!
Because I was playing 20 hertz in a sealed box where you're not supposed to, and it was just going.
Too much wasted information. Come on, man.
So tech fanatic, you don't take our jokes for taking something lightly, because I definitely don't personally, and I know people like close to me, not family, luckily, thank God, that have died from it, and we understand it's serious, but I make light of everything. So,
so do I.
Comedy and jokes are the way I deal with everything in my life. So
right, it's like, well, my house is burning. Time to get a new one. There we go. That's my excuse to get a new one. Yeah.
I've seen more than my fair share of tragedy in life, and one of the things that keeps me going is being able to find humor and silver linings in everything tragic that does happen. You have to pick yourself up by the bootstraps and find a reason to smile, no matter what. Because if you don't, you're a lost soul at that point. So, poke a little bit of fun, challenge norms. Try to find that joy where you can.
Right. And everyone's definitely sorry to hear that anybody lost anybody. That's terrible to hear. So definitely not trying to get you like that, buddy.
I've lost people on both sides of it. I had my wife's mother died. She was living with us. She died from a bad reaction to the shot. And then her sister actually died of complications from COVID. Like, I feel like this whole thing's a no-win for everybody. And I wish we had, like I said earlier, more open discussion about how it affects everybody rather than just the crap we're being fed on a daily basis by the talking heads. Because it's hurt us all in some way or another, be it through the lockdowns, be it through the shipping shortage, be it through the constant stress and propaganda and everything else that's going on. I think stuff like this is probably going to be what's going to heal the world when all this is said and done.
My mother is 74 years old, and I believe that COVID is going to eventually indirectly kill her due to a horribly delayed cancer surgery to remove a simple melanoma. And that's the thing, how many people die because hospitals were shut down? How many people die because they're afraid to go to a hospital, go for their heart attack because they're afraid they're going to get COVID while they were there? It's just been an all around shit show. I mean, and I'm not making light of it. I didn't take a COVID test. One of my children had it. I spiked a fever. It seems to be mostly gone 2 days later. It is what it is. It sucks. Eventually everyone's going to get it because it's going to be wholly endemic within a few years if it isn't already.
Right. And we're all doing the best we can. I don't think most normal people, people that aren't trying to start fires on one side of the lawn or the other, we're just dealing with it the best we can.
Absolutely.
Well
That's all
said.
we can do.
and Cody, you weren't the guy that put up a crazy score in the old school SPL contest, were you? With just a head unit? Okay.
I have done some SPL stuff with my old system.
Yeah.
I was given a box. Long story short, it was tuned to 30 Hertz sealed. Well, he cut holes in it. 2-inch holes, no baffle.
Amen, Baseaholic. Amen.
Sounded awful. The plastic wrap tubes? The industrial plastic wrap tubes? That's my port in that box. it peaks around 44 hertz, and I'll do 134 dB on 300 watts.
That ain't bad for what you
With,
got, man. I mean,
it's a single Alpine Type R.
Yeah.
An old,
Okay.
it's a black one. It's been ripped apart 4 times. It has a cracked spider on it right now.
If you play with it, if you play with enough things and you specify something to do a job, you're always going to be a lot better off than just, trying to willy-nilly stuff. That's why I encourage people to experiment, try different things. Because most of my lessons I learned the hard way.
My problem is people
I
find
learned
out
by-
what I know how to do, and then they won't give me a job because I know more, I understand more than they do.
I learned by
I've tried
putting
to get
bricks
jobs
in
in
ports.
audio, and I'm just laughed at because they're like, "What are you talking about?" What?
Rob, this Baseaholic Productions
Drew Jones.
comment, it just hits home for me. So go ahead and I'll provide my 2 cents.
That's one good thing that came
Drew's
out
a
of all
good
this.
dude, man. Drew's a good dude. He's out there trying to promote positivity. So I appreciate him.
Yeah.
This is a good community at large. Justin, Andy, while we're all on camera together, I've been an admirer of you two. I kind of watched you guys start up. I love the hell out of what you do. Justin, your information in particular has inspired me to go in a different direction because you're able to, put into context some of the stuff I wish I'd been able to do a few years back. Rob, I love the hell out of you. Wago, it's been wonderful to be in the comments with you. Everybody on this podcast, on the whole, in the majority, has been a very warm, welcoming, honest, thoughtful community. And I love that that's being cultivated through these live streams and podcasts where someone like Cody can come on and participate and be an active member of something that benefits the whole.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm
I'm
going to give Rob credit for all that. Rob, I'm going to give you credit for all that because you're the first guy in the community, probably 2019 when you did your 12 days of streaming. And you were the first one who said, "Hey, I'm just going to drop the StreamYard link in the chat, and anyone crazy enough to click on it can come talk." Speaking
of which, Drew, if you're not busy, man, jump on if you want to. But I do want to take a second to embarrass Justin because can we all talk about Justin's videos week after week? Are the editing, the content are getting better and better week after week.
Yeah.
Every week I like it a little bit more than the last week. So you're killing it, dude. Especially the last video was really great. I look for the editing because I'm someone that does a lot of editing, and I appreciate the editing and the information.
Killing it.
But I keep saying stupid stuff like "moon the cone."
I love that. When you do sound advice. When you guys do sound advice after the daily hi-fi podcast, me and TT4 come over to your stream, even though the hi-fi is still going on, because we just love the stream so much, and the whole dynamic you guys got going, man. So keep it up. Those human flaws are all of us. None of us are perfect.
Now, none of us know exactly what Justin does for a living, but I've deemed him in my comment the professor of audio.
That's a good one.
And I believe that I know that he has said in the past that he's got some summertime off. He may be.
My day job. I am technically a professor.
Yes, I got it.
Well, the name fits then, right?
You caught him, Kojak. You caught him.
It's not something that I kind of want to like. I like keeping the world separate because I've worked for some assholes. Oh damn! Did I say that out loud?
If they're done that,
listen. Nobody's watching.
I had to admit that I was a scientist, and that was scary enough.
Right. Yeah, I have a PhD in economics.
Oh, there you go.
This is why, if you ever thought Justin's kind of nerdy about numbers and stuff.
Makes sense.
Oh, big shocker! Big shocker! Listen, guys, we have a special guest here.
Oh,
the man with the best beard in car audio.
Yeah.
What's up?
This guy's got a PhD in box building. This guy knows how to do it right.
I got something.
Man, you do good work. You do
Appreciate
great
it, man.
work.
What's going on, man? What you up to?
Oh, nothing. Just hanging out at the house, watching y'all, getting a little work done. It's too cold to do anything else. So
You ain't lying, man. I should be working on video. Like I said at the beginning, I should be working on video and getting ahead of. But I figured, why do that when I could just hang out and just talk
Man,
about nonsense for several hours?
sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need to just do nothing. It
Yeah.
decompresses.
So how's the business going, man? You designing the
man.
hell out of some boxes?
Busier than ever. It's great. Love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, no, it's a dream for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
listen,
saying
we
right
need
now.
to get you on. We need to get you on reverse polarity sometime if you're not busy, man. I think it'd be fun because me and Dean, we're not in that base head world. Now, I've got one toe in there, but I don't know about that life, and you know
Yeah,
about that life, and
I'm down for sure.
All right, cool,
But
man.
I've also been trying to step out of the base head world too. Like I've been really digging into sound quality stuff lately, and trying to learn as much about that as I can.
It's gonna suck you in, man. It's
He's
gonna
like,
suck
that
you
grass
in.
is looking pretty green
You're
over
gonna-
there. You know?
You're gonna be sitting in the passenger seat with your eyes closed and not
Oh,
hearing
I'm
any
already
bass.
there. I'm already there.
AC off, engine not running. Oh,
I mean,
the
I've
dream.
always liked staging and all this, and I've always ran active. I've always liked good sound. I've never understood how to get there, but with like I've been getting help from Jeffrey Hall and a couple other guys who are super great, like Taylor Gardner, Brad Knobloch. Been learning a bunch
T-Fade.
from those guys.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
I got
just-
to listen to Jeffrey's system at finals here in Arkansas.
Oh,
It was dope, man. His system was dope, and it's a lot different than I remember SQ. Like it has a lot more impact. He's got the
Mhm.
bass. I heard his SQ tune. I heard his personal tune, and yeah, it sounded good.
and he says his new tune since the new JL Max tune came out, he said it's even better than
Dude, I want to
what
play
he
with
won
that
finals
Max
with.
so bad. I want to play with that
Oh, no.
Max so bad.
Well, so I'm getting some new speakers for my truck, my Duramax, and Jeffrey said once Bobby Gately builds my new pillars, that I'm going to drive to Jeffrey's house so we can JL Max tune it.
Oh, dude, Bobby Gately's building your pillars for you?
Yep, he's going to build the
Damn.
pillars for the Duramax, and we're in conversation about building the new door panels for the Tahoe.
Oh, that's gonna be dope. Bobby's he's a riot, man. Him and John
Dude,
Robbie,
Bobby
we got to
is-
hang out with them at Sundown. Those dudes are, yeah,
Dude, I love Bobby. Every
Yeah.
time I get to see him, it's great.
yeah.
Man, I gotta say, I am envious of Andy's streaming setup he got going on, dude.
Thanks, man. A lot of work
Yeah.
and a lot of stress, but as long as it looks good, that's all I care about.
No, it looks great.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
You can tell like the guys who do video, not professionally, but a lot.
Yeah.
Like your audio and video is great. The audio specifically is the big improvement over most people.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I really wanted a mic, because my voice does not play below 40 hertz. So I'm like, I need something to, you know.
That's what drew you to Kicker.
yeah.
Makes
Exactly.
sense. Makes sense.
Hey
Destiny,
Rob,
man.
what's the max you can have on one time? What's your cap on
I
this?
think we could have 10 or 9.
10.
9.
All right, 9 is the okay. All right then.
So we got plenty
So-
of more space.
So someone mentioned Aaron's audio corner a little while ago. I love watching him because he's so technical about everything, and his dry humor is just the best. Love every
Dude,
second
Aaron-
of it.
Like I talk to Aaron all the time, and this dude, I wish he lived right next to me. I want to be his best friend every day because he thinks way past me, but he likes all the same dumb shit I like. So
So,
Those guys over
uh,
at Really Hi-Fi, even though they're not exactly in the car audio community, that was one of the things that I had touched on. The natural progression from car to home to pro, just being in audio in general. We're not all so different, you know. It's easy to commingle. Like Aaron and Joe, I've been buddies with those guys for probably going on a couple of years. I've been on their podcast too, but that's why I learned to respect those guys. Is you know, nothing's really off limits. You can learn everything
mhm.
Right.
and keep progressing no matter what, but you don't have to be a dickhole about it. Why
Yep,
it's a-
and it's definitely best to learn as much as you can. Like that's one thing that I've been trying to do. You know, I used to be all about bass head only. You know, but now I want to know as much as I can about as much as I can.
yeah,
And
definitely.
you
I think we should
you
all
mentioned the progression from car audio to home audio. up until I heard Chris Pate's Civic a couple years ago, the best stereo I'd ever heard, period, was a home stereo. I don't know. So, some of the older guys who were in SPL might know named Matt Sibley. He was the first guy to do a 60 in a CRX with 4 Solo X10s on 4 Autotech Mean Machine 4000s.
Wow. Jeez.
So he managed to get all 4 Solo X10s forward firing next to each other in a CRX. So anyone who's ever been in a CRX knows how narrow they are.
Yeah,
Right.
So
Oh yeah.
so well, he did all that as a part of his college experiment for whatever PhD he was getting or something. I don't know. But he went from that to home audio, where he just went crazy with it. And he said it was such an easy transition from car to home. And then luckily, we have a super active audio community around me in our area. So he's local. So I was able to go hear that, and it was, man,
that
crazy.
home audio stuff, they get serious with it, and it's so controlled.
Expensive.
Oh, you gotta pay to play in home audio. They're not messing with our little, $3,000 setups. They laugh at that.
You say that though.
Speaker wire.
You say that though, but then you gotta remember, y'all, it's so much easier to get good sound in the home. There's a YouTube channel, y'all may have seen the guy before. Apparently the guy used to write for some kind of hi-fi magazine. The Audiophiliac, what a weird name, is the channel. Have y'all seen the guy? It's kind of a hippie looking dude, long hair.
Steve Guttenberg. He used to be on CNET.
Yeah. So he did a series, that's probably been a year and a half ago, of like affordable hi-fi home systems. And he was showing how $500, a little amp from Parts Express and some decent speakers. And it's just easier to get good sound in the home. You can get equal distant from the speakers. If you just got a room where you can do it. $500 will go a whole lot further in making quality home audio than it will car audio. And once you get into building your own home speakers, it's like you'll never turn back, just because it's an addiction, just like the rest of this is.
But that's also one thing I love about all audio, car audio, home audio. There's such a wide range of prices you can spend on things and get good sound the entire way.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
like you said, you got the guy at $500 for a home theater system. Then you run into guys like Aaron's Audio Corner. He's got a pair of speakers he reviewed that were like $17,000.
True.
Yeah, it's
That's
like,
insane,
man, I don't know if my ears are good enough to hear that difference. I'm be real.
I paid $80 for those 2 Type R's and I whipped the shreds like.
Hey, Type R's are great. They're great
Type
speakers,
R's?
man.
Goats.
Here's what's left
Type
of
R's
one.
are killer.
Yeah.
Most of y'all know Brett Lahar and Skip 01. That dude was a Type R lover forever.
I want to recone them, but I don't have the funds to do it. So
understandable, dude.
This one, it rubbed until it started peeling, but still plays.
Fun fact, you can actually replace a Alpine Type R coil with an L7 coil. It's literally the same size, just different material. Type Rs can actually handle a little bit more.
I have this is the black dual 2-ohm Type R.
Nice.
Okay.
One of the newer ones.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The first generation, well, they would whip the spider off the cone.
Wow. Oh, you over excursion just a little bit.
Yeah.
This one got fixed incorrectly, and then I just kind of played it till it went.
Yeah,
Then I uncoiled what was broke, snipped it, glued it back together, and played it again for like another month until it took it apart.
Hey.
Well, hey, shoot, guys, I smell some food cooking. The wife's making me something to eat. I'm gonna hop off here. It was great talking to everybody.
Yeah,
thanks for bouncing in, man.
Nice to meet you,
I'll
man.
reach out.
Y'all have a great evening.
You too.
You too, bro.
I know. I need to reach out to Justin sometime because I live in the same state as him. I live in Kentucky.
Oh, cool.
I don't know what part
Well, no,
he's
no.
in, but
I heard Justin's in an undisclosed location in
I
Washington,
know.
D.C.
I just know what state. I don't know where. I just know what state. That's all I know.
We've already got way too much information out there for now, so you'll be able to narrow it down.
I'm gonna Google professor. I'm gonna find him.
He's in a bunker somewhere, so be very careful. It's an armed bunker.
You got to admit it. I nailed it.
No, that's mine, Rob.
Professor.
If I had the money, I'd have him build the box of the 8.8s.
Oh man.
You know, you talk about the, you know, repairing speakers, reconing and stuff like that. I you know, while I've been kind of down and sick, I went down the robot underground rabbit hole. You were watching his videos, man. He's I look at his warehouse full of parts. I'm all like, how does he find anything?
I just want one of his old 18s to build a computer out of.
Patrick's a beast.
That's all I want.
Patrick is a freaking beast. I called him up once because most of my stuff's not stock. I'll just say that. I called him up once because he was a part of my stupid little group on Facebook through a mutual acquaintance, and he cracks me up. He totally cracks me up. But going down that rabbit hole, yeah, you gotta go into that with thick skin.
Yeah. I've ordered stuff from him, but I'm not a fan just because he's so negative, and like I'm not down with that. If you got to step on somebody to get your way up, I'm not down with that.
You're stepping on somebody and driving around in a golf cart. Come on, man.
His polarity is definitely reversed.
That's where my separation from that whole universe is. Like, I've looked up a lot of you guys. I know you shop around on YouTube like I do, just looking for shit you want to see. You stumble across stuff, and then you go down the rabbit hole, like Justin said. 'Cause that's how I found Mullen. I love the shit out of what Mullen's doing.
Right.
But that's how I found Patrick and the whole progression.
I'm all about the information. The information portion of it, cool.
It's vastly entertaining. Yes.
When you start stepping on someone to get where you want to get, that's where I'm not cool.
I'd rather see people pass me. I got a friend in the home audio community right now that's cultivating his own thing, and he had mentioned something about I have more subscribers than him. Like, dude, I don't care. I'll celebrate you passing me because I don't care.
Definitely.
You know, go on. I even told him I'd guest on his podcast as well because I guess I'm charismatic and people sort of don't want to shoot me in the face or whatever. So just spread that love as much as possible, you know?
Yeah.
I can't.
Like, I make sure to come on like Andy when Ticker's doing their stream. I know you're doing a stream. I come over. I like it. Justin is doing a video, and I'll pop on and like it just to show support to you guys because I respect you and I think you're doing good things.
Heck yeah, man. We need people like you in the community backing us because doing this YouTube stuff, I know I haven't been doing it long, but these two guys have, and we need that support. We absolutely do.
Yeah, you know, I'm barely kind of scratched the surface. You know, it's like anything in life. No matter where you are in the ranking of life, there's always someone higher up the hill than you are. And you know, there are some really good people out there who have been putting out content for a long time that you look at them and you go, wow, I thought they would have had more subscribers than that. Well, the subscriber number, you know, doesn't matter that much. What matters is, you know, are people watching, and are you doing something valuable with your videos, right? Are people watching it and getting something useful out of it? And that's, you know, and that's important. That's what matters, because if people aren't getting something valuable out of the video, what's the point of making it?
Yeah.
Clickbait.
I hate clickbait. That's why I title my videos the way that I do. Like after talking with you the other night, Andy, I was inspired to do a video about something off the cuff, the stock upgrades that are available to people that they might not know about. Take information a step further rather than, you know, that kind of. I'd like to see more of that. And that's the kind of thing that I try to cultivate when I speak to people.
I, on the other hand, love clickbait. I love clickbait.
I hate it.
I just like playing around. You know, I kind of troll with stuff like that. But the thing about it is, you could be salty about something in the community, like, oh, so-and-so's doing this. But I could have been like, oh, Justin, you know, he's barely been doing this. He passed me. Or you could be like, hey, this dude is doing good work. He's putting out good videos that I enjoy, and he's building a bigger community for everybody. So why would you be mad about that? Like, it's literally better for everybody. The more people that get bigger in the community. So you just have to choose. Yeah. Are you going to be like, oh, well, you know, I've been doing this 3 years longer than him. I should have this. No.
The reason I don't
what's better for everybody.
The clickbait is when I go and I click on something for, you know, like if I'm going to watch a Lamborghini Countach video, I don't want to just see a Ford Pinto. I want to see the Lamborghini Countach thumbnail. That's why I hate the clickbait, the true clickbait, you know. Scotty
Completely
Kilmer
lying
for
clickbait.
that. Why am I?
Oh,
leaving?
he's terrible.
is
I
the
know he
worst
does
with
that
it,
every
yeah.
time. The
Yeah.
first time he did it, I clicked on it, and then he posted another one, and I'm like, didn't he just post this? I'm watching. I'm like,
Right.
it's a whole nother video, and he doesn't even mention it. But he is the
Yeah,
biggest
that.
YouTuber. He can get away with it. Who's gonna yell? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't mind
Right.
fishing. I mean, fishing's
Yeah.
okay. Just to blatantly lie to people
Yeah.
for views.
My type of clickbait is I like to say something outrageous that are going to make somebody mad,
Right.
and then showing it CCA versus OFC.
See, that was funny.
I'm
was
telling you,
funny, Rob.
I'm telling you with my words that CCA is better the whole time, but I'm showing you with the data that OFC is actually better. So depending, if you
That's a funny troll.
if you just listen to the video, you're like, oh well, this guy likes CCA. If you actually watch the video and see the results, you're like, oh, he just showed us that OFC is better. And I'm not so good at humor sometimes, putting it on structured video, so it don't always come through. But
I can't. That is funny. See,
And
I
you
thought
know,
CCA was
I
better.
took that.
man.
I took
Yeah.
that and I just ripped it off. You had that. I made that video on bass boost.
I love
right?
it, dude.
I just
I
saw
love
like,
that.
I was like, I'm just gonna rip off Rob on this one. It worked for him. I'm gonna steal his idea.
You done like a 3 or 4 minute video, and you're like talking about all this, and then you're like, yeah, this is don't use it. That's how you do it.
Here's how you use the bass boost. Here, turn it all the way down. Done. Is
See,
it
that's
all
Speaking of-
perfect?
funny. That's good natured humor right there. That's the stuff I actually appreciate.
Yeah, but I'm the sucker that listened to HifiVega and Justin. I got a whole, bucket load of 1/0 CCA. And
Well, what happened was Justin told you to set your gains with a DMM1
well,
or a
here-
DMM at first, and then he come back 2 years later and was like, hey, don't set your gains with this.
here's what happened. Justin
Justin
dropped,
playing the long game, man.
He is, man. He's gonna get you buying and selling both ways.
By the
Justin
way,
dropped the science on it, though. With
Yeah, he did.
with your spreadsheet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Yeah, the wire spreadsheet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Oh yeah.
Convinced that I'm not going to burn down my house. I'm putting in CCA wire. I got only a 125 amp power supply for my test bench. I'm not going to burn anything down.
But if you use it within its limits, there's
Yeah,
nothing wrong.
yeah.
If you know what you're
1/0
getting with the
1/0
CCA,
CCA wire.
yeah, you'll be good.
125 amps.
Yeah.
You're not,
Yeah.
Especially on a short run, you're not running at 17 feet to the back of your car. I was going to ask you, how's the bench coming for because you're going to be doing YouTube videos, right? I see you got the microphone, you got the test bench ready to go.
And this,
What's next?
This is all. I got to tear it down. This is all coming down.
Oh no.
new
This is
house.
Moving.
I'm
Oh.
moving. This is
Yeah.
as soon as this video's over. I was literally getting ready to tear everything down, and then
Wow.
Rob went live with this thing. I switched around my desk and got it there. So no, all this stuff that's going down. I filmed my first YouTube video, which was like the goodbye to everything I worked on for the last 3 years. I tear it all down
Damn.
and move. But I'm not going to freeze my ass off in the garage in the winter. I'm not going to be sweating bullets in the summer. I am getting the only reason why my wife bought the house, whatever. I mean, happy wife, happy life.
Yep.
I am getting my own audio room, just like Rob has. And so
Nice.
I can do all this stuff indoors, and it's going to be awesome. But
You
That's
need
what
your
I
own
do.
personal space, and you don't want to be, like you said, you don't want to be out in the elements. You don't want to be in your basement. You don't want to be in the attic. And I mean, that's just almost as bad as being out in a garage, depending how insulated your house is. Yeah, that's why I kicked Bryson out of his room, and now I have this one. So
Sorry, little fella. Daddy's got some streaming to do.
Yep.
It might be less than ideal,
Justin,
especially full of stuff.
Where's your wire spreadsheet again? What video do you have it posted on? Oh, you're muted.
He mutes himself.
To get access to the wire spreadsheet, just send me an email at diyaudioguy@gmail.com. And if you'll put the word wire in the subject line, I've got an auto reply set up that will take you to my Patreon page where I let you know that it's expensive to make YouTube videos. But from the Patreon page, you can click on the link right to the spreadsheet, and you have to download it. If you try to edit it in the Google Drive, you can't do that because you'll edit it and ruin my beautiful spreadsheet. So send an email to DIYaudioguy@gmail.com with the word wire somewhere in the subject line. I'll never see it. It auto replies, then dumps into a hole. And every now and then someone sends me an email without wire in the subject line, and I ignore it because I don't like it when people can't follow instructions.
Wow, that's pretty cool. It does it automatically.
We got somebody joining here. You guys ready to say hi? I'm going to pop them in.
Is it Kip? No,
Bobby
B.
Yo. Uncle Bobby B. What's up?
Hey, Bobby.
Got the whole crew.
Best goatee in car audio.
Oh, is that my phone going off?
Oh,
sorry,
no.
guys.
He's going to get
I don't want to get you
from
demonetized.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I thought Bobby was whipping up his hair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was waxing my head. Yep.
Yeah.
I just stopped in and say, "What's up, you guys?"
Yo, what's up, man?
Yeah, I'm working on the hair, so.
I got mine put up.
Yeah. Well, I plan on going for about 5 more minutes. You guys got anything you want to sign out with?
Like regular guy audio, when you get done growing that hair, can I borrow some of it? I could use a little bit.
I have to be funny to tell you, when I finally cut it off, I actually usually send it to Locks for Love for the children that need wigs for cancer.
Awesome.
This last time I'm growing it out, it's got to be, I think, 18 or 24 inches, and it's not quite there yet.
There you go. I'm trying to catch up to y'all. See, the problem is, everyone thought I was just bald. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm not actually bald. I chose this lifestyle. so now, but actually, the real honest truth is it could be a midlife crisis. I don't know. Who knows what a midlife crisis feels like?
Hey, Rob.
Maybe it just sneaks up on me.
Hey, Rob, you just need to square it off like Kid from Kid and Play.
Oh, I might, dude. I might.
Right,
well, see, I'm going with the comb over for right now. I've got it long enough to do the little comb over. So hopefully, maybe I can get that Bill Murray where, in Kingpin, where he gets the comb over and it comes straight up. That's what I'm shooting for.
That would be hilarious.
If I grew mine out, it'd be the reverse mohawk.
Oh,
don't
dude,
grow nothing right here.
Bring it back, bro. Bring it back.
No, I'm not in denial. I'm one of those old guys that shave, not in denial.
Yeah.
No comb over for me.
Oh, we got one more before we end the stream. One more. Let's
see who it is.
Gonna fill the screen up.
John.
Hey there.
John K.
There he is.
What's up?
Yes.
Oh, not too much.
Out of
Just
chat,
a fan.
not on
Figured I'd
screen.
chime in for the last few minutes.
What you got, man? You got 3 or 4 minutes. Let's talk.
Sure. What do you want to know?
What? All right. You're John K in chat, right?
Yep, that's right.
All right. What do you got in your system right now?
Okay. What do I have installed versus what do I have around is 2 different questions too. So what I currently have, to answer your questions first, what do I have
This is
installed?
the life of everybody that in this chat.
What I currently have in my 05 Corolla is just a little screen Kenwood deck. It's a 5-channel XD-JL amp that I only have the 300-watt sub output running right now. That is just powering in a crappy bandpass, the brand Dual subs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because that's what I have in a box. What I have that's been sitting collecting dust in the box and a shelf for a long time, I have 2 13 W3s from JL.
Okay. Nice.
But I keep procrastinating putting them in a box because I know I'm probably not going to do them justice if I don't have that much room for it. So I've been procrastinating for like 5 years to build something for them.
Imagine being HifiVega and someone recognizes you and is like, dude, I want to hear your system. It's like, I got some 6.5s and some 1-inch tweeters right now.
That'd be like if you ran into me right now with the part because my truck's completely tore apart.
Yeah, it's like I've got a system waiting in the trooper, and it's just like I don't know. It's never gonna happen at this point.
This is what I got in my car right now, but you ought to see what I have in my garage.
That's why you got to have like 4 systems. Case one goes down, you don't have something in it.
Back up.
Listen,
That's
babe,
what the
I'm putting a
type
system
for.
in your car,
For a while, the Kicker BF 400, the 400 was my car audio system. So
Hey, loud enough, man.
Yeah.
When you're sitting on as much crap as I am, and people wonder why you don't have something specific in your vehicle, you have something else. That's always a fun question to answer, because you guys, it's kind of obvious. I'm sort of big into the Vega community, but that's not my only thing. I run a custom sub and a T-line in my truck. Has nothing to do with Vega. It's something I built myself. But like, that's part of the life, man. I'm so good at procrastinating, I precrastinate.
There you go. So,
But
Justin,
I got it.
I was gonna ask Justin, you got a sneak peek? Like, what's coming out tomorrow? Get a hint.
Nothing's coming out tomorrow because the last
man.
2 days I've felt like crap and didn't edit anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you feeling a little bit better now?
Yeah,
Did
you can still
test?
tell
You
I
good?
got a little scratch, but I think the fever's
Yeah.
gone. It seems to have been pretty mild. But yeah, hopefully I'll have something done by the end of the day. I usually try to drop by middle of the day or else it flops.
Right.
I don't know why. I guess all of y'all drop in the afternoon. If it don't beat you out, I lose, right? That's
Right. Well, I tell you what happens. We drop within an hour of each other on Sundays.
Yeah,
and then Derek usually goes later.
Yeah, we have the same viewers, so we're you
Right.
know they're all online at the same time according to our stats. So that's what happens. So I'll probably drop something late tomorrow evening for my patrons. HifiVega, you'll get to see it, and I'll hold it in Patreon for a week before it's released to the rest of the world. So
Nobody's gonna be mad at you for that. You're allowed to take a break every now and again.
It is nice that you guys all post on Sunday. Well, most of you guys, you, Derek, and even Parker too. And it's just cool because it's like, you got some content coming. Sunday's the day that you're sitting at home. Majority of people don't work on Sunday, and it's just a good, it's a good day.
Well,
it
sometimes
really
I
is.
like to save them for Monday too, because my main YouTube watching is after work on Monday. So I'll come home and boom, I've got I'm watching Justin's, I'm watching, Parker's, whoever's coming out. I'm just mainlining those, right after work.
You don't post your videos at 2 a.m. like me sometimes? Come on, it works sometimes.
No. I just do random live streams.
Yeah, that's it.
You are always live, all the time now.
Live and direct.
I'm normally at work, but I'm awake, so.
I think this live stuff is great for us YouTubers because we get to interact with you guys. Yeah, it's not content. You don't have to edit, so it is better. But at the same time, you're still engaging with your audience, and you get to have a good time while doing it.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun to hang out. It's fun to hang out with people live. It's fun to have a show like 12E Talk, where it's a podcast and we're doing a topic for an hour. We're not really interacting with chat within that hour. But that's something different than a live stream.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in there bouncing off chat, talking about what they're talking about, as long as it's on topic, which sometimes it's not. We all know that. But when it's on topic, and sometimes it's fun when it's not on topic, or when they call you out on your bullshit, and it's oh, okay, all right, you got me. So if it's funny enough, I'll put it up there. If it's not so funny, then I'm not going to acknowledge it.
I think there's an opportunity for a live stream here. I would call it audio 345.
I was just gonna say
and that 345, the 3 stands for somebody in their 30s, right? Somebody like Rob that, sorry, you're 40 now.
Oh damn!
And then the old guys like us that are, late 40s.
Who are you referring to as us? Are you looking at Justin?
I
think you're looking at Justin.
I think Justin and I are pushing 50. I'm pushing 50. I'm going to admit it. So I'm in my late 40s. But it's
about the same, but my back feels like it's 20 years older than I am. So
yeah.
I'm old enough to know better and young enough not to give a damn.
Yeah, but audio 345 is what I was thinking.
There you go, Fuego. That's your niche, man. Once you get the studio started up, boom. Yeah. So I think I'm going to log off now. We're going to close it down. I appreciate the people joining. This was fun. Well, maybe I'll do the car audio helpline more regularly. So I think it's fun to have people from the community join, and maybe we'll do one guest at a time and 10 minutes, and then we'll just cycle them through. I think it'll be fun.
Absolutely, man. I don't know. I think you got something good here too, with a bunch of people on one screen.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah, it's
switch
fun.
it up once in a while. It's definitely different, and it's cool. It's like a revolving door too. Who's coming in next?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had fun. I appreciate you guys. John, you came in at the last minute. So you got anything you want to say?
It was super nice to meet you guys. I watch a lot of you guys all the time and stuff, so I was like, I might join, I might not, but as soon as you mentioned 5 minutes, I was like, all right, I'll click and say hey to you guys. So.
It's nice to put faces to the names. I always see you guys, talk to you guys, so it's awesome. Honestly, coming from me, it's so cool.
I don't comment very much, so.
Well, now you gotta start commenting. Now you know we're cool people, man.
Yeah.
We're not gonna bite. I mean, listen.
I comment time to time.
Yeah. Well, and you can see now that you're streaming. This is the cool thing, I think, for you guys that don't stream, like how fast comments go by. And you're like, dude, I cannot keep up with these comments. And StreamYard, if you're looking at it in StreamYard, it only holds so many comments. So it's very easy to lose them.
Right. I know it's tough. That's why I told Scott the other time, I was like, add me as a team member. So when we're doing the Rolling Thunder, I can kind of help you throw the comments up. Because when you're doing it by yourself, it's really tough. Plus, if you're talking about a topic and then, you got people asking questions. But you did good. You did good, Rob.
All right. Hey, you guys got anything you want to pimp? Anybody got anything they want to pimp before we sign off?
I just want to say, Fuego, good luck on the move, dude. I subscribed even though you don't have any videos. Support the community, support the other channels like Rob and anybody else that has a channel, shoot to spread the love, spread the positivity, keep the hobby growing, that's all I've got to say.
Andy?
Absolutely, man. We'll have a video this Thursday. It'll be some flex video of some Walmart subs, so that'll be cool. But it's going to be a nice, probably 3 or 4 part series, so that'll be cool. But it'll be definitely some time to put together and good content. Definitely not clickbait.
Cody, you got any parting words?
Fantastic question. To answer a question you guys might have thought of with those 8s. Those 8s are dual 1.2 ohm subs. It's a hassle to wire them.
Yeah.
It is
That
weird.
reminds me of some Bose stuff from their car.
That's some real Bose shit right there.
They say 60 by 2.
Yeah.
On a good day, I say they'll handle 100 watts before they pop. But also depends where you put them.
Right, in that kind of system, you don't need that much power, so.
Hey, they build 65 amps. And each amp is supposed to be 120 watts.
Yeah.
You do the math. It's pulling close
something.
to what it's supposed to.
Give us something, Fuego. What you got?
I appreciate everybody's support. I filmed one of my first YouTube videos, content-wise, and it was like the tear came down my eye as I was filming. Everything I've built for 3 years, I got to tear it all apart. As soon as we're done, pack it up, move it, and,
there you go, man.
it'll be better, but transition's going to be probably a month, before I get things set up. So it's for the love of audio,
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure, man.
Everything happens for a reason, and just make it bigger and better than last time.
And never stop.
And more expensive.
And don't burn nothing else down. Let's not burn anything else down.
No.
Justin, you got anything you want to say as we're dropping? All right, Justin's cool. He's going to have a video next week. Unless you're a patron, maybe check it out. Also, check out Andy. He's also got a Patreon. Check him out. And for my parting words, let me just say to the community, I love you guys. You're all awesome. And keep doing your thing. Keep hanging out. Keep having fun. Don't hate on anybody. And we'll see you next week.
See you guys.